Ready?
So you have to have landscaping there, that's all I'm saying. But what I don't understand is how much.
Piece number 1 for humidity.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Now you're ready.
Now I'm ready.
Thank you. Let's wait till I start coughing, all right? All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Village of Royal Palm Beach Special Magistrate Hearing for Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. According to Verizon, it's 5:33, so we can get started. My name is Doug McGibbon. I'm the magistrate. First thing we're going to do is swear everyone in. We'll probably do this multiple times as strays come along, so everyone who's going to talk, raise your right hand, say I do, and we're done. Does everyone swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Everyone knows their right from their left. It's a good start. All right, you have hopefully checked in and they have pulled your cases so they can get you out of here quickly. When you hear your case being called, please go up to that microphone over there. Tell us who you are and what your address is. The village will put together some proof that they want to put in. They will show it to you. The code officer will testify. You can ask him questions. You can ask her questions when it changes. And then you can put on your own witnesses or your own testimony. When it's all over, I get to make a decision. That all switches when we get to the fine reduction hearings. I think we have 3 at the end of the agenda. Those people have been through a violation hearing and a fine assessment hearing. They're asking for relief, so they'll get to go first, and the village will get to respond. I think I've hit all the highlights, so please take it away, Village of Royal Palm.
Thank you, Special Magistrate Amity Barnard, Village Attorney. We're starting on the agenda on page 1, fine assessment hearings, case 24-0306, 1095 Chorus Way, Melissa Butler.
Good evening, Special Magistrate. My name is Andrew Armienti. I'm a co-inspector with the Village of Royal Palm Beach. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is a notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 4 are the pictures.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and notice of hearing.
Was I served with that?
Yes, the certified mail came back.
Okay, so I didn't know about it, right?
The property was posted, that's what this affidavit says, that the property was posted with the notice documents.
Mm-hmm.
This is the previous order. Page 2 of the previous order. Exhibit 2 is again the certified mail that came back with the affidavit of service for the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, the notice of hearing itself. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 4 is dated photographs. Any objection to just the documents being entered?
Yeah, you can enter them.
Okay, thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. So what's wrong with the truck? I assume that's the problem.
Well, that was part of the issue, but yeah, they had the material in the bed.
Okay, and they can't have material in the bed exposed on there?
That's correct.
So if they had a cover on it, that'd be one thing, but if it's just sitting there exposed, that's not allowed under the village ordinances. Is that
That's
right?
correct.
All right, and you also say miscellaneous items, what's that all about?
Yes, sir. They have looks like a front-loading washing machine on the side of the house, which has been there since the beginning of the case. It's still there as of yesterday, although the truck has been removed.
Okay.
So this is a fine assessment hearing, Special Magistrate, as Mr. Armienti just said on your agenda. Code section 23-18B1, which is the prohibited vehicle, has come into compliance. So we're asking for that to be a continue to comply statement in your order. The other section, 14.2, for the miscellaneous items, your previous order required compliance on or before December 26th. It's been out of compliance from December 27th through today. That's 76 days at $75. We're asking for a fine of $5,700 and continuing until compliance is achieved.
Okay, and majority of that was probably for the truck?
That's how the case initiated, Special Magistrate, and as I'm there, I got to write everything I see, and that front-loading washing machine has been there all along the way.
Okay. Your turn?
Your Honor, that truck was broke down, and we had it towed, and the auto body shop brought it back and dropped it off at my house without my knowledge. I also travel for work, and I'm gone for months at a time. The maid put the washing machine out there, and I didn't even know it was out there, and I didn't find out about any of this till my neighbor told me that there was a notice on my door, and that's how I even found out about this. And that's why I wasn't even at either one of those hearings before, because I didn't know. And as you can see, I was never really served. I didn't even know about the stuff.
You were legally served according to Florida statutes, okay?
Because they left a notice on my door?
Yes.
Well, I travel for work, and I'm not home.
I know, and unfortunately, they have to do notice two ways, and this is for everyone. They have to send it to the address on the tax collector's roll. They did that, and it came back unclaimed, I hear. They also posted on the property, because they always do it. I mean, it's kind of like you do one, then you do the other, and you hope you get one back, and if you don't, the other one's good. And I just got hired by the city of Clewiston, and I had to meet with the police chief and go over the statutes, and one of the statutes says, if you are served by posting at your home and at City Hall, even if you don't get it, because it blew off the building or whatever, that's legal service. So that's not really a good complaint here, because the legislature has said, if you don't pick up your mail and you don't look at the stuff at your door, you're served.
I can't do that when I'm away at work, sir.
Well, unfortunately, that is a problem that you're going to have to come back to when the fine assessment or the fine reduction hearing case comes up, because right now, you fix the truck, but there's no need for a washing machine to sit out there for months. It's been out there since December.
Your prior order was dated December 16th, so the case was started well before that.
So yeah, that thing's been out there for months. I mean,
No, I've been gone for months.
and why does there need to be a washing machine out in the yard for months?
I don't even know why she put it out there.
Well, if she would have put it at the road, the scrappers would have pulled it on
I know,
Thursday.
that's what I told her. I said, why didn't you put it at the road? She said she couldn't get it down the hill.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Well, sorry, where I am right now, you have a violation that's obvious and ongoing. There's nothing really I can do about it at this point other than go, yeah, it's still a problem. They've recognized the fact that you've moved the truck, but we still have a washing machine sitting there.
Well, now that I'm home.
Right. And here's something that applies to everybody in the room. I have literally watched people fix things on my way home from this meeting. I live in La Mancha, so straight up Royal Palm, turn right into Ponce de Leon, watch the guy fix his door that night. But it won't count until you call, because they don't know, they don't remember all these things. You have to call them when you fix it.
I did
so
call,
they come
sir.
by. No, but you called them probably for the truck or whatever.
No, I didn't even know about that the problem was the material. I didn't even know that.
That would have been on the notice that was on your door that your maid didn't or
Again,
didn't
I
get or
didn't
did not
get
get.
the notice.
But once again, legally, once they say they've posted it.
What you're saying is that I should quit my job and make sure that I'm able to get these notices?
You do not have a legal excuse as to lack of notice as your defense, because the Florida legislature said no. You get two ways to get notice. They don't have to track you down in another state or another county to find you. This is how they do this. So I have nothing that I can do other than grant the fine, move the washing machine, call them when it's moved, it'll stop. And then you can come back for a fine reduction hearing and explain your problems with notice and your maid. Okay? But that's all I can do right now.
Okay.
Okay? Right. Granted.
Thank you. Next case is on the top of page 2. It's a fine assessment hearing as well, 24-0902, 109 Cayo Costa Court, Linda R. Cardy.
Are you Miss Carvey? Come on down.
Not a property.
Good evening, Special Magistrate Anthony Sandlin, Village of Royal Palm Beach Code Inspector. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, an order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. And Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information.
Okay.
Linda Cardy.
Thank you. I'm just going to move this a little closer. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Excuse me. Exhibit 3 is a photograph, dated photograph. And Exhibit 4 is the village's permit information. Is this permit information?
Yes, AS400 permit information, showing that a permit was not,
Okay.
nothing was
Any objection to these
pulled.
documents?
No?
Okay, thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. So what was done?
There was like a privacy glass, I guess you would call it, like a bubble type of glass there. She changed it out and put this window in without the permit.
Okay, they're saying you changed out a window. Was the window changed?
Yes.
Okay. You're supposed to have a permit?
Yeah. I did a permit recently. Remember I came before and you told me I needed a permit, which I did recently? I called Anthony and I gave you the permit number.
They applied for a permit on 3/7.
Right. What else?
So this is a fine assessment hearing, Special Magistrate. Your previous order was dated January 14th. You gave the respondent until March 7th to obtain the required permit. It sounds like she applied on March 7th. So getting closer, but not quite there.
No.
Sure that it's going to be, it's a zero lot line, and they've taken up a block window and put in a regular functioning window.
So they'll have to do that review as part of the permit review.
Yeah, the problem is you had to get a permit issued by the date that you actually applied. Why'd you wait for so many months?
This is my second contractor because the job is so small, no one will take it. So this is the second person I got that actually took the job.
Yeah, and he actually took the job, but he didn't bother pulling a permit. So that's the problem.
He told me he pulled a permit to have a permit number.
You have a VLD number. He applied for a permit. It's not a permit. It may not even get issued.
Yeah, they're saying that there's a problem because this is a zero lot line community. You have to have opaque glass in some of your windows that can't be clear so you can't stare out at your neighbors because you're living too damn close to each other. So that could be a problem as well. So right
Okay.
now,
But the window is tinted. It's a tinted window.
okay, that's neither here nor there. If you would have applied for this maybe a month ago and they were waiting, or you're waiting for them, that's one problem, but you applied 5 days ago on the last day when you were supposed to have it issued. I mean, I gave you months.
But I had to find somebody to apply for it. I mean, I didn't know what to do, and so I,
See, this is a homesteaded property? Yes or no? Do we know?
it's homestead, yeah.
If it's a homesteaded property, could she have done an owner builder?
She may be. I don't have that
I don't
information
know.
with me,
See,
but
that's why I'm asking. I just don't know.
either way, that doesn't change where we are
No, it
today.
doesn't change. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that would have been an opportunity for her. You know, if I'm in a single-family house, I can apply as an owner builder for most anything in my house, other than some electrical, I think.
But the
and
last
some plumbing.
time I came here, you told me I have to get a contractor, so that's what I did, and allowed
You
him
had to
to
go get
work
a
on it.
contractor, you had to go get a permit issued by March 7th. You applied on March 7th. So if you get your permit issued in the next 2 weeks, you'll only have 2 weeks of fines, and you can come back and try to get them reduced. But right now, we don't have a permit.
Okay.
I don't know if your contractor is telling you everything you needed to know, that he applied late and he didn't get it. But where you are right now, no permit, the date's passed, all I can do is start a fine.
We're asking for 5 days at $25 a day, so $125 and continuing.
All right, granted, that's all I can do. So hopefully that permit will pass and will stop the fine in the next week or two. But if it doesn't, it'll keep running. So you need to keep on top of that.
Okay.
And just so she knows, if you can't get the permit, the compliance would be reverted back to what it was. To the Supervisor Walker, excuse me, to her point, if you are in a significant delay with getting the permit, you may want to just revert it back to what it was so you don't have to continue your fines running. That's also an option that you should be aware
You're talking
of.
about the window?
Put the old window back is what she's saying.
So the window was leaking, and I asked the guy to repair the window. He told me they don't do those black windows anymore, and so that's why he put that window in.
Okay. He
So-
obviously did not care about what the village thought about what he was doing.
So I don't know if it's a condition of approval for your community or not, but typically on a zero lot line, you're not allowed to have a window that opens, it's a fixed window. That's why they use that block glass.
Okay, so,
So I don't know that your permit is even going to be approved through the planning process once planning looks at it.
so can I put a fixed window that does not open, but, because they don't do block windows anymore?
Planning and see, because usually they're all the same. They're all the blocked windows. So you would have to talk to planning and see what your options are.
Okay.
Okay. 125 plus continuing is granted.
Thank you. Staying on the same page, moving to violation hearings, case 24-1012, 10432 Oliver Lane, Samsuk Surayapao. Excuse me if I mispronounced.
Special Magistrate, the code sections are 9-4, 14-2, 6190A5, fence and disrepair, miscellaneous items, stained sidewalk. The violation was observed on 12/26/24. The notice of hearing and notice of violation was sent certified mail on 12/27 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. The notice of violation and notice of hearing with an affidavit of service is Exhibit 1. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Names for the record, please.
สมสุขสุริยาพ่อ
Okay, and your name, sir?
สารวัตรก๊อฟทิพย์
Spell it for me.
SATAWAT
W-T-A-T-T.
SATAWAT
Yep.
GARPTIP
Slower. G-A-R-P.
TIP
T-I-P. And your relation to her?
her son her son
So soft-spoken.
okay
These are the exhibits. Do you need to translate?
no I need to translate for her
You need
yeah.
to translate. So I'll tell you, and then if you could tell her. So these are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Do you want to translate that part, and then I'll explain to you what they are.
อันนี้ใส่อันนี้ไว้
Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service. Do you want to tell her that? And Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service.
Net
Do you want to translate as we go, or you want everything?
yeah I want everything I want
Okay.
everything
Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is photographs with dates
okay
of the alleged violations.
that's oh that's the back of my hand
Any objection to these documents being entered?
For me, I need a, no.
No objection?
All right, admitted without objection. All right, so I saw a picture of a very leany fence. Is that one of the problems?
Yeah, Special Magistrate, the fence is in disrepair, although it's still, it's improved, it's still in disrepair as of yesterday. The miscellaneous items are still up front and on the side of the house, and the sidewalk is still stained.
Okay. So the fence looks better.
Yeah, she was, she was on vacation since September last year. She just got back, and she just found the letter, so that's why we didn't know about anything of this.
Okay, so she's been out of the state, out of the country?
Yeah,
Okay.
in September last year.
All right, well, this is a violation hearing, so you're going to get time to fix these.
Okay.
Okay? So it's making progress with the fence. I mean, it's not leaning into the sidewalk anymore. It looks like it's straight. I have a lot of sympathy. I just pulled out a 4x4 with about 3 feet of concrete and replaced it at my fence. It was a lot of fun. I had to pull it out with a Jeep. Okay, so the sidewalk is getting there. You need to clean out the things in front of the garage. And what else do we have here? Oh, and pressure clean the sidewalk to the best of your ability. Some of that's probably mold, some of that's just dirt. Okay? What is your proposal for time for this?
We're asking for compliance by March 27th or appearance at the May 14th fine hearing, or a $25 a day fine.
All right. Can you get all of this done in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because I want to make sure you have enough time. Just,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so you need to have this done before March 27th.
Okay.
You need to call him when it's done. It'll be in the order that I sign.
Okay.
So we can come by and at least confirm that, the fence is propped up properly and the things have been moved, and we'll see how far you along on your pressure cleaning. I just did all my sidewalks and driveways myself because it's the dry season. So it's a good time of year. All right, 327, 414 or face a $25 a day fine?
14.
Okay. Or 25.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, granted. So make sure once you fix that, call as soon as possible, okay?
All right, sir.
He'll drive by, he'll take pictures just to make sure it's done.
Thank you
Okay?
so much.
You'll get an order in the mail. Thank you very much.
Next case is on page 3, case 24-1019, 125 Ponce de Leon Street, Rudy A. Chamorro.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Rudy Chamorro. Address is 125 Ponce de Leon Street, Royal Palm Beach.
The guy actually listened. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, tell us about the case, code officer.
Special Magistrate, the code sections are 15-144, 6-190A35, and 6-135. Prohibited artificial turf, stained sidewalk, driveway, and driveway apron. House number is not posted on the structure. I observed the violation on 12/27. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/27 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is notice of violation, notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is dated
Pictures.
photographs.
Okay.
Any objection to these documents?
Yes, plenty of items. So,
Hold on.
No, we're objecting to the documents and the
Not
photos.
to what they show, just to the documents, and then you can explain to the magistrate.
no, we're good.
Okay.
All
That's
right,
my
admitted
property.
without objection document-wise, and then we'll hear your side of it. All right, well, let me hear what's wrong from the officer, and then you can respond.
No problem.
All right, what's wrong with this property? Is the artificial turf just that little strip there?
Yeah, there's a couple of strips in the driveway and on the driveway apron, and they're not supposed to have artificial turf in the front yard according to code section 15-144. He did clean the sidewalk and all the staining was taken care of, but after the compliance date, And there's also no numbers posted on the structure, which is required by Code Section 6-135.
Okay. But he's done basically the hard part, which was cleaning the driveways and the sidewalks. You need to run yourself over to, and I'm not doing this as an advertisement, but Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, wherever. What size letters are they supposed to be? 5 inches, 6 inches or taller?
Minimum of 4.
Minimum of 4 inches. Slam some numbers on there. That's going to be like $5 each, maybe.
So I fixed the issue, but it's been windy lately. I guess I didn't put the thing on right. It fell. I went ahead and ordered a new one, and it's on its way as we speak. So it's going to get delivered, it says by tonight at 8 p.m.
Yeah,
So
well, you're going to get at least until the 27th, if not longer. I'm just going to make, the house numbers are the easiest thing.
Yeah, no problem.
And they have to contrast. They cannot be the same color.
Yeah, I got it's a gray frame, and then the letters are white. It's a solar.
White is good.
It lights up.
White will definitely contrast with the dark colors there, so that's fine, right? You have to take out those strips because we're not Arizona, and we don't like the artificial turf that does not require water or maintenance because we're not Arizona.
So, Your Special Majesty, the problem that I have is that that's a 6-inch slab. They cut it. It's not just a strip. It's been like that since I purchased the house. That's how I bought the property. If I take that out, I have a 6-inch gap. And if I put regular grass, it's going to die out. So if you could let me backfill it with...
You can put grass in there, you can put rocks in there, you can put concrete in there, but you just can't put artificial turf. I don't know if it's a sanest rule. It seems kind of silly with your application because you only have a couple little strips. But, there's something about microfibers, and it's not really the best thing to let water through. But, you're going to have to get rid of those, and whatever you decide to do to fix the problem is up to you.
Well, it can't be rocks and it can't be grass, but Supervisor Walker's saying it could be pavers or concrete.
I mean, if I do concrete, that's part of the structural, so I don't think, then I would have to pull a permit as well. So and pavers, you know what it is to sit there and cut pavers just to try to get it on there? I think that's impossible. I mean, I work in construction. I mean, I work for the Occupational Health and Safety, OSHA. I deal with this all day, different type of violations, and I just find it pretty unfair. I mean, I need to look into the code violation because I've seen multiple people with that, and if that's the case...
I call that the throw your neighbor under the bus defense, and it doesn't work for me because that just means you can report your neighbors and you can turn them in.
I'm not that type of person.
But it's not like, if someone else is doing something like the guy before you with all that stuff in front of the garage.
100% I agree.
If you had that there too, you would both be in violation.
100% agree with you.
Now, the problem with this, and you can talk to the building department, is if I were going to do it, I would fill it 75% of the way up with gravel, and then I would concrete the top. And that's how normally you would deal with this.
Even though that's how you guys allow the homeowner to sell the property, because that's previously
The homeowners in this village sell properties with unpermitted, what are they, sheds, utility buildings, all the time. They're in the wrong spots, they're not on slabs, they're not engineered, they've been there for decades, they get sold, no one checks it. You could have checked it. You could have seen these things. This probably was done and no one paid attention to it. But it's still wrong and it's still a violation. Fortunately, you get a chance to fix the violation, but if you had a shed that was in a setback, it would be wrong, even if the owner had it there for decades. And I've seen that happen all the time. It's not unusual out here.
Yeah,
there are other people who put seawalls in without permits. That's wrong.
I agree. I see neighbors doing their roof without permits because that's what I look into as well. So I 100% agree.
It's a big problem. And, personally, I like permits because it has someone check on the work.
Everything I've done to my house, new roof, new fencing, everything has been done through permits, impact windows, everything. So I'm the type of person that I do everything by the books. That's the type of person I am.
You got the hard one done. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time on the replacing your decorative gaps there.
It looks nice.
It
Well, I
looks
mean,
nice, but
let me ask you a question.
unless you want to go to every council member and sponsor an ordinance that allows artificial turf in the front yard, and you want to eat a fine while this process goes through politics and everything else, you can do that.
Yeah,
That's America.
Let me
But-
ask you a question now. Maybe it's out of your hands. I believe that I've been wanting to get with engineering in Royal Palm Beach because my neighbor, I wish you had better pictures. I have a pothole, a sinkhole on one side of the driveway. My neighbor does. Every neighbor in that house has one. So previously from the homeowner, that when I bought the property, he said the reason why he did that was because he got a citation because the driveway had a lot of cracks on it. So he did that initially to backfill and cover some of the cracks. But 1, 2, 3, 4 of my neighbors have that same sinkhole in the same place. I don't know if it's true or not.
That doesn't really come in code world.
Okay.
That's more of an engineering thing, so.
But I have to reach out then because,
You can call the code officer and he'll try to get you to somebody else who will try to at least get you to the right person. It's not the hugest place in here, so they'll get you to the right department and then they'll get you to the right person in that department.
all right, if you
But
can just
right
give
now-
me more time just to.
Yeah, I am, because we're going to give me a date in the latter part of April so we can have it for the May hearing. That way he gets more time to play around with his strip. He did the hard part. He cleaned up the driveways and the sidewalks. The numbers should be easy.
Tomorrow. I'll call him tomorrow, send email pictures or whatever he wants.
No, call him tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to give you time though, so give me a late April date. April 26. 4/26?
April 26th, I'm sorry, for the
5.
artificial turf, it's for 5/14 is the hearing date.
5/14.
And then 3/27 for the house numbers.
Yeah,
Or the
that's not a
same
problem.
April 14th,
Okay, and,
not April 14th, I'm sorry, 5/14, May 14,
5/14,
or
got it.
$25 a day.
okay. All right, so you're going to get your hearing or your house numbers up before the 27th, which gives you tons of time.
April 27th?
No, March.
March?
The
Yeah, for the house, I can do that tonight.
You're going to do that in the next few days.
Yes,
You
sir.
call him, he will do an affidavit of compliance. Well, actually, he'll do a note in the file that you've done it. You have until April 26th to figure out what you're doing with those other spots and get them done. And you may need to talk to engineering. You may need to see if you need a permit. If you need a permit and you get it issued, then you have the time that the permit allows you to fix it.
So, again, just to revise, I can, like you said, backfill up to a certain amount?
I would say you would do that, talk to the engineering or building department, whoever, to say, look, code enforcement makes me take this out. How can I fix it? I want to do this. Is this good? Then you're going to do yourself a huge favor and you're going to email that conversation back to that person so you have proof that you talked to them and they said it was okay. Because I'm a trial lawyer and I deal with proof.
I do everything with email as well, no.
So you want to confirm that if you talk to Bradley or whoever it is, and they say you can do this, you're going to say, you've told me I can do this, please confirm, and then you will do it.
Okay.
Okay? And that's the safe way, and that way you have proof that you did it, and you also have proof to me that you were trying to do it, and if, Royal Palm doesn't respond for 3 weeks, then I can yell at them.
Okay, and she also mentioned I can't backfill with rocks as well? I'm not
Well,
mistaken?
no, we don't know.
I would have to reach out to engineering.
You would have to reach out to building or engineering to see how you would fix this particular issue, and they will tell you.
Driveway has to be of a permanent surface.
It would be a permanent surface, but it all depends. I'm talking about
Not considered a permanent surface, though.
if you filled, if it's a foot deep, he's saying it's a really thick driveway,
It's, yes.
and you filled it 60 or 70% full of rocks and the last 40% was concrete, it would be
Concrete on top.
concrete mostly. So, I'm not talking about a skim coat on top of, a bunch of little pebbles. So you need to talk to someone to say, how do I do this? And it passes code. And then you do the thing that I told you, which
I'll
is,
reach out because, it's a lot of concerning when it comes to that because if you just backfill with concrete, it's just going to continue cracking because it doesn't have any type of, my boat goes through there, 3 heavy vehicles and my company truck, so I have to do it the right way. If not, it's just going to continue cracking and breaking down. It's just wasting money over and over. So
Exactly. So
I will
this is
make
why
sure
you're
that I
gonna
reach
find
out to
out.
them, let them tell me my different options, and we'll go from there.
exactly, and that's why I've given you an extra month to do
Thank you.
Okay.
Record Special Magistrate Code Section 06190A35, which is a sidewalk, driveway
finding
and driveway apron, that's a finding of fact, yeah.
Yep, finding of fact, because finding of fact means you cleaned the sidewalk and the driveways,
Yeah,
okay.
and then obviously I cleaned it. It's not gonna look as good as it looks on the north side because they replaced that whole area, so.
No, you're clear, you're done on that one. We only
Okay.
have the other two issues, the house numbers you're gonna bang out in a day or
Yes, sir.
two, and then you have the hard problem. And you're
Okay.
gonna work on the hard problem.
10-4.
Okay? 426-514 on the driveway issues, 327-514 on the house numbers, $25 a day total fine.
And a finding of fact on
And a finding of
6198.
fact on 6198.
Thank you.
Okay. You'll get an order in the mail.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a
sir.
good day.
You too.
Page 24-1027, 102 Nature's Way, Jezebel, Mysonet, and Benigno Rivera.
Oh, my shed story's going to come to life.
Special Magistrate, the code section is 2026-57. It says shed without a permit. I observed the violation on 12/30/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/31, and the green card was returned on 1/7/25. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. The notice of violation, notice of hearing is Exhibit 1. Exhibit 2 is a verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Your name for the record?
Isabel Mysonet.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, of hearing, as well as the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents being entered?
All right, admitted without objection. So is this your shed, or is this a shed you bought from the prior owner?
Here since I bought the house, 3 years.
See? I told you, all these people put these sheds up, they don't care, they don't tell you, and then you get in trouble. And that's the thing.
I submit the permit request.
You can make a permit request, and that's fine. It's just a question of where it is. It can't be in a setback. You know, you look like you have a lot of room back there for it. It's not like you've got a pool in the way. You got to find out what the setbacks are. You're going to have to find a survey to show where it's going to be, and you're going to have to find some engineering.
I did the permit request and I came, but I'm waiting for the permit. I did the whole application. I submitted, I came here, the lady helped me, and I did the whole
Okay.
application. I did it on January 29, and I'm waiting.
All right, so a lot of times with our lovely computer system here, people are sure or not sure that they've got things done, so we have
Said she did it on July 29th.
No, January.
January 29th.
My Hispanic way of
Now, it
saying.
might have been filled out. I don't know if it was filed or if it was followed through.
Yeah, I came here and the lady helped me. It was so nice. They were so nice. They helped me.
And we could probably figure out who it is because it's notarized.
Yeah. She even helped me give me this because I didn't know how to find the map.
Your survey, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's working on it. We just have to figure out what stage is she in.
Ms. Walker's looking.
I know. She's going through the records as we speak.
Let me find. I think that I took a picture of the computer of the day that I did it.
No, there's no question you did that. It's just a question of what happened after you did what you did.
So they responded to you on February the 3rd
Where?
in Project Docs, and they told you that you needed to submit a pervious area form. You needed to submit a landscape index form. You needed to submit your anchoring detail and to submit your product approval for the shed. So you have to find out the type of shed that it is, if it's suncast or whatever, and then submit those product approvals. And that was all sent back to you on February the 3rd.
So where I can find that information?
In Project Docs,
And where is that, Project Docs?
that's the program that you have a username and password for in the computer.
So you have to go back in and check.
Okay, so,
So you're not waiting for
Okay.
them, you need to go back
okay,
and check
I'm
it.
so sorry. I thought that, I'm so sorry.
Once that all gets
Okay.
submitted and they accept it, you'll get a notification.
So I be- I-
You'll get an
okay.
email, and then
So
you make payment and you have to complete the task and send it back, and then it goes in for review and for permitting. Okay?
God, sorry.
Not a problem.
So my
No.
communication is that now through the
Yes, you
system?
go through the system, you check the system to see if they talk.
Okay,
That's
I'm
okay,
sorry.
because,
An email. You
But-
should have gotten an email
Okay.
from Evolve, I think it is, that should tell you you have comments waiting for you or something
Okay,
like that.
okay, okay.
either way, 426, 514, 25 will cure this. She's,
5/1, if you want to give her a few more days.
5-1 is wonderful.
If you have any problems with it, you can always come back into the office and they'll help, they'll log in. Well, you'll log in and they'll help you with it.
Need everything.
Yeah, okay.
You may want to check your spam on your email, because sometimes those emails go
Into your spam
into your
folder.
spam. So once you fix that, then you'll see them.
So, sorry if I take longer. So if I don't understand anything they request, I know that I can come and they help me? Okay.
Absolutely.
Or should I contact the person that did the letter?
Well,
Andrew?
Michelle is the one that's working on your permit, but any one of the ladies can
They can
help
help.
you.
Okay.
You don't need her specifically.
Okay.
The 3
Okay,
forms, one of
The
them
other
is,
thing is, if, like, I don't get the whole anchor or something, so I talk with this person, and if that person says, sorry, you may need to remove the shed or buy a new one or whatever, like, he is the person, or I should continue coming here?
No, so Michelle is your permit intake.
Okay,
There's going to be somebody in planning that looks at it for other things and somebody in building that looks at it for other things. So Michelle is going to be the person that you're dealing with to get the permit in and into the system. And then at the very end, it comes back to her and she prints the permit and uploads it into your portal in Project Docs.
okay.
Okay?
so
And
you
I
have
need to
until
come
May
back-
1st. to
May
get the-
1st here again?
If you don't have the permit,
Oh, okay, no,
So
no,
just
no.
keep following. You've got 3 more documents to fill out and get into the system, then they can review it and tell you what you need next, okay?
May 14th is the hearing date, but you'll get an order that has those dates in the mail that says you have to come into compliance by May 1st or come back to a hearing here on May 14th. You guys, we got it.
You aren't the
Thank
only
you.
one, believe me. Okay. All right, you'll get an order in the mail. Thank you very much.
Next is page 4, case 25-0036, 1148 Grandview Circle, Braulio, Felipe, Segredo, Perez, DeCorcho, and Norislatis, Vilo Munoz.
Special Magistrate, the code sections are 6-22, 108.4, and 15-142, a patio and enclosing the patio without a permit, bare spots in the front yard. Violation was observed on January 14th. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on January 14th, and the green card was returned on 1/17. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Braulio,
Say it again?
Braulio,
And just say your whole name so that the record.
Braulio Felipe Segredo.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and then the signed certified mail. Excuse me. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership from the property appraiser showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is photographs, dated photographs of the violation. Oops, I think I skipped. There's another one.
Is something like this?
Yeah, I'll have the code enforcement officer explain, but yeah, I think this is part of it there. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No. I mean, I only have,
You only got the notice documents, right? You
Yes.
didn't get the pictures?
yeah, I only have the survey for the new expansion and all
Okay,
that.
you have a survey. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you can explain to the magistrate.
So we have signed green cards and affidavits and all kinds of stuff. So you have service. Now, did you close the patio in?
Yes, I do the little expansion on it without permit, but already working with the architect and the engineer about that. So I have the new survey, so the guy should be already come here to do the paperwork with the county, with you guys already, so.
We have, now you have a new survey, is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Part
I
of
have
what you-
the new update, the one we have extension on it.
Okay, I just want to see the survey date on that, just to make sure he's pushing this along. Yeah. He's saying he got an updated survey. I'm just looking at the block in the bottom right-hand corner just to see what the dates are.
Can I take it? Yeah.
Yeah, you can take it.
I'm gonna give it back to you, but the magistrate.
You good.
Yeah, I just want to see it's nice and recent. He's working on it. It's all good. There's usually a legend down there somewhere. Okay. Done. 2/20/25. He's cranking along. He's got a nice. I do a lot of DOT work. I used to get roadway plans this size that were this thick, rolled up, and I had every plan you needed: drainage, striping, right-of-way. Love these things. I'm done with that. Yeah. All right. He's nice and recent. He's got a survey. Well, he's got actually engineering type documentation from his architect. We are learning about getting permits in the village here, so we're going to do the 5/1, 5/14.
That's right, compliance by 5/1 or 5/14 or $25 a day fine.
That gives you a couple of months to get through the process. If you get your permit issued, then you're good, okay? But don't let it slide. You're spending all this money to get it done. Make sure you get it done in a timely manner. I looked at your survey just to make sure it was updated, or the documents, and they're updated within the last few weeks, just to make sure you're pushing. Keep pushing it along, okay?
Okay.
You're going to get an order in the mail that says you have to get your permit issued by 5/1, or you're going to have to take that out. So hopefully you'll get your permit issued and everything will be fine. As long as your architect can draw it and your engineer can say it's safe, you should be good. But I don't know these things. This is all
Yeah,
building.
that review needs to be by the building department. There, just from what we see, there may be some issues, so, right,
That's all building.
right.
So that's what they're going to try to do. So just keep on top of it. Make sure that if they're going to approve you, it gets done. And if it doesn't, you need to take them down until you get it right, okay?
And he also has the bare spots, and the code enforcement officer, that where you were pointing, that's the bare spot there around the tree. You understand where those are that you need to correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Suffering because of the dry season, okay? It's not raining. Give it about 2 months and everything will grow there. But right now, you got to do a little watering and a little sodding, and that'll help, okay?
How about the grass, so I need to put a new one in there, or?
Well, I've given you a 5/1 date, so get some around there.
Let's make
Because the
way for
seeds,
rain.
I had seeds in my backyard. They took forever, and it was really just so sparse you could barely tell.
Let me question, it's not the case, and somebody stopped by yesterday about my truck, so I don't want to be here, for,
Someone stopped by yesterday about his truck. Do we know anything about that?
Yes, I was doing the re-inspections, or excuse me, the pre-hearing inspections for today. It's not related to this case, but I did talk to him about it and how it's a prohibited vehicle. He can't have it in the village.
Okay, what's wrong with this vehicle? Is it, what's the problem?
It's over 20 feet in length. It has undisclosed material in the bed. It looks like air tanks, open and display in the bed of the truck.
It's too long.
It's too long, and the material.
Okay, because normally I tell them if you put a topper or something on it, that might cure the concealed part, but you can't make it short. Is that your problem? Is that the issue?
Measure it from my judgment from the sidewalk, it looked like it was clearly over 20 feet.
Now, what is the restriction in the village? What's the length?
20 feet in length and 10 feet in height.
Okay, so it can't be over 20 feet long if you're going to park it at your house. So go out there and measure it.
I mean, yeah, I have to look at it and see. So even if we over in 20 feet, I can put inside to my house or behind to the fence.
No, you can't put it behind.
Because I wanna fight with the Ford company, make a vehicle over in 20 feet, and I can park it in my house, you know.
Yeah, I think garages are normally 20 by 20. I don't think it would close. So, but that's a problem for another day, I think. Okay, let's just deal with this right now. Right now, it's.
About the other code, but that's not on this agenda,
If your truck is 19 feet, 10 inches, you're fine. You need a cover, but you're fine.
So
If it's over 20 feet, it's not going to be fixable.
So 20 feet long or 20 feet high?
No, 20 feet long, 10 feet high.
10 feet high?
Or you can call him and talk to him
I
about.
appreciate it. I hope we can, you know, I hope it's not that long, so.
Yeah, everyone's got to do some work. Okay. All right, 5151425 on 6221084 and 15142.
Case down, 25-0037, 1085 Grandview Circle, David Dent.
Special Magistrate, the code section is 15-142.
Well, I have a 150. Go ahead.
The code section is 15-142, a bare spot in the side yard. I observed the violation on 11425. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 114, and the green card was returned on 117. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Your name, sir?
David Dent.
Thank you.
Of violation, the notice of hearing, and the return certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photographs, dated photographs. Any objection to these documents? Thank you.
Okay, admitted without objection. Green card for service. All right, so what are we down to? We're just down to bare spots? Because I looked at your notice, you had a bunch of stuff. It looks like you fixed most of it.
Yes, sir.
Yep, okay.
So in speaking with code enforcement
Well,
officer.
wait, let's let them give their little shot there, and then you can respond. Okay.
I'm sorry, Special Magistrate.
Now, you're going to tell me about the bare spots in the yard. Is that under the boat, or?
Yeah, it's underneath the boat. It's kind of hard to see with yesterday's pictures, but it's more clear with the pictures on the 27th. There was a big sun glare yesterday trying to take those pictures, but
The light shining off the gel coat.
yes, sir.
Okay, so you need some more grass over there, or mulch, or what? What works?
The code reads that it has to be a non-dusting item. I don't know what's underneath that boat. I'm only observing from the sidewalk. When I spoke,
I see dirt, so it's
yeah,
definitely dusty.
I see dirt as well. When I spoke to Mr. Dent over the phone, he says that it's mulch. Is that correct, Mr. Dent? Him and I spoke the other day.
Well, if you're going to, yeah, I have another neighbor. I go on walks in the neighborhood, and he seems to have mulched under his boat, and that seems to work.
It's mulch. It's
Oh,
not
no,
a-
he's got to go look.
It's not a dusting agent. He said,
No.
I know he said he don't come in the yard. He
Well,
takes a picture from the sidewalk, but it
Yeah,
is.
but you're going to invite him into the yard, and you're going to show this to him so he can see that it's all mulched. That's all. That's how we work for this. And if it's all mulched right now, you're pretty much cured. I'll probably just give you the 3/27 date. You're just going to arrange for an inspection between the two of you, and you're just going to show him, look, it's mulch. Because from what I can see, it looks kind of dirt. And it also has some trash hanging out under the boat that doesn't need to be there. There's a bottle down there of something that's laying around.
That's
Oh, no, that's not, okay.
There's a bottle of something just laying there under the
It's a
ground.
bottle there, yep.
Yep, so, you know, that's not, that kind of draws your eye almost to it. So if it's all mulched, it would probably be okay? I'm just asking.
Yes, special magistrate, I believe that would be okay.
Okay, so what he needs to do is to allow you onto the property because you don't want to trespass. But if you're invited,
I only do my code inspections from the sidewalk unless the property owner gives me
exactly, because
permission.
you have respect for property rights. Look at that.
When the notice is put on the door, can we look at the mulch it in? Because you have to walk past it to put the notice on the door. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
So can you
that
look
looks
at-
like it's in the side yard.
It said, you have a picture of the front yard? The door is right there.
Well,
But whenever you want to come back,
yeah, that's fine. You all are going to work out a date. They're going to come back and you're going to show them and everything's going to be good. So it's going to be the 3/27.
27 or the April 9th fine assessment hearing, or $25? Yeah.
So we got to set a date now to come back, or how does
If you
that
want
work?
to set a date right now, that's fine. If you want to, make
When you
it
wanna come
later
back?
with him, that's fine too. I don't care.
You want to come back?
I could come back sometime tomorrow in the afternoon or Friday morning. That should be okay.
I mean, if you set a time for me, I can be there. I work for the county, and we know how that is. But if you tell me what time, I'll be there. Or you welcome to come on the yard without me being there. I have video camera. I see you every time you come in the sidewalk. So
All
you
right,
let whatever works for you.
You've given him permission in front
I
of
have.
God, the world, and all these video cameras to go onto his property. So,
And get close to see that it's mulched. That's all I need to do.
okay, so you've given you permission, so tomorrow or Friday, whatever, you'll do it.
Thank you, Mr. Dent.
Come back on the 27th to say
No, you're
what?
going to call him after tomorrow or Friday and say, what happened? Did you see the mulch? He's going to say yes or no. If he says yes, then you don't come back.
How would I know? Okay.
And after, so that you know roughly around what time I'm there, and then the results. I don't have a cell phone. We only have office phone.
Or you just so you have my contact.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Perfect.
Dent.
Thank you.
Worked it all out? All good? All right, 327-4925 is granted. Next, please.
Page 5, second case down, 25-0015, 215 Bilbao Street, Boris E. and Ivan Lopez.
Hi there, which one are you?
Hi, I'm Ivana Lopez. I'm his daughter. And,
YVONNE?
and this is my father, Ivan Lopez.
Okay. And this is Yvonne?
Yeah, Ivana.
Got it, okay. All right,
Code section, 215 Bilbao Street. This code section will be work without permit, 622-108.4. I observed the violation on 1/3/25. The mail was sent out on 1/3/25 and returned back on 1/13/25. I also would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. And Exhibit 4, AS 400 permit information.
What was your name again?
Ivana.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation,
Okay,
the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing,
okay,
and then the signed certified mail that came back to the village.
okay.
Do you need to translate, or?
Oh, I'm helping
You're good,
him.
okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you time if you need. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership, showing that you guys own the property.
Okay,
And Exhibit 3 is photographs,
okay,
a photograph of the violation. And Exhibit 4 is the village's permit information.
okay.
Any objection to these documents?
No.
Okay.
it took me a minute. I'm like, oh, look at that big green driveway. Do you need driveway paint permits? And then I looked and I said, oh, there's a water heater.
Yeah.
So they changed out a water heater without a permit.
There we go.
So, bad time to leave it out, too.
Some trick. My father.
So, is this homestead property?
It's, Papa,
Excuse me?
Do we know?
sorry.
Do you have the property appraiser? put up?
It's on the papers that.
You have the property.
Oh, I know. I'm the one. This is the problem. Homestead partial, additional homestead. Okay, 2025. All right, so it looks homesteady. That means he can apply for his own water heater permit? Okay. So he needs to apply for a water heater permit.
Okay, yeah.
And
So just one question, sorry. Do we need a general contractor?
no, you just need to get a permit issued and then have it inspected.
Okay,
There are two things about water heaters. It's got an electrical element and it's got plumbing.
okay,
Okay, so you have two different disciplines coming together. They have to make sure it doesn't leak and that it's properly wired into whatever it is.
okay, got it.
That's usually very easy.
Right.
I mean, nowadays, they don't even solder these things. They just use compression fittings. So I know all these things. So you just need to get a permit.
We're asking for compliance by 327 or 49 or
That's gonna be
$25 a day.
I want to give enough time to get through project docs and all that stuff, especially since we're going to have a language issue here. So maybe,
426, 514,
yeah, exactly, sometime in April for the, yeah,
$1 a day.
Yeah.
5/14/25. All right, so you now have until April 26th to get the permit issued.
Okay,
Once the permit is issued, you're not a code enforcement problem, you're a building problem. Once the permit is issued, you call for an inspection that day.
okay,
When they inspect it and they give you a final clearance, you're fine.
got it, thank you.
Okay?
Understood.
You'll get an order in the mail.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Is the next one down, 25-0046, 11602 Oleander Drive, Auberger, Jean Baptiste.
Okay, one easy, one not so easy.
Go ahead.
Address 11602 Oleander Drive, code section 144A, and 144A for the disabled vehicle, and 2316A for the vehicle parking against the flow of traffic. I observed the violation on 11625. The certified mail was sent out on 11625 and returned on 11825. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, a notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, photos.
Your name, sir? Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. So which ones are we talking about? Just the,
We're speaking about the vehicle. The tag on it is,
all right,
it's out of
so
date.
it's the transporter tag that went out in December.
Yes, he basically transferred the tag to another car, but it's still out.
Yeah. Someone's in the car biz, but they're not keeping up their registrations.
But this car is not mine. I got for somebody live in a house. I tell him move it, he never move it. If you can put the ticket in it, that'd be great for me.
I am not the police, so I can't do a thing with that.
But you don't want to move it.
If he doesn't move it, you're going to get fined. So
I get fined?
You're the property owner. You're the one who's going to get the fines. So you need to get him to move it somehow.
Can you give me a copy in this to show him, please?
Well, I'm going to sign an order that says he's in violation of these ordinances. And you can show it to him and say, I'm going to get fined and you're going to pay it. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to cost $25 a day if he wants to. All he has to do is renew the tag.
Yes.
I mean, the car doesn't look like it's inoperable. It's just not
It's not possible.
properly or not
Well,
tagged.
it has to have a license plate.
Yeah,
It
it's
has to
not
be
tagged.
registered.
I mean, it's a license plate, but it's not a valid license plate because it's old.
Live there, sir? Or is it, you live there too, okay.
Yeah. But you can give me one of this copy to show him.
Yeah, well, you'll get some papers from us
Okay, thank you.
next week, because I usually sign them Friday
Okay,
to
that'd be
Tuesday,
good for me.
somewhere in there, and they mail them out the next day. Now, you had something about parked in the wrong direction?
That's a finding of fact,
Okay,
2316A.
So they fixed that one.
Yep. And then we're asking for the disabled vehicle compliance by 327 or the 4-9 hearing or $25 a day fine.
All right, so if he's actually a transporter, he should get his tag renewed. If he's not, he needs to remove the car.
I don't know where he get it tag. It's not transported. It's
I
not.
don't either, and it's not the concern of the village. It's your problem with your roommate,
Okay.
okay? So
Thank you.
the roommate needs to fix this by getting the car tagged or getting the car moved away.
Thank
Either
you.
one, okay?
Thank you.
327, 4925 granted.
Finding of fact on
And the finding
2316A.
of fact on 2616A?
2316A.
Yeah, 2316A, sorry.
Thank you, sir. Next case down is 25-0059, 275 Saratoga Boulevard East, Bastian Biagira Julian, or Julian?
3 in a row, look at that.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name, sir?
My name is Ethan Julian.
Thank you, sir.
And your relation to?
That is my mother. I'm her son.
Very good, thank you.
Pronounced Vajira.
Thank you, sorry for mispronouncing.
No worries.
Code section 06190A1 for the structure being stained. I observed the violation on 1/22/25. The notice of violation was sent out on 1/22/25 and returned back on 1/25/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, photos.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. And Exhibit 3 are dated photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
All right, admitted without objection. It's the big wall we're talking about, I guess.
Well,
The
the whole
two-story, the whole story.
house needs to be
The whole-
2 colors, yes, sir.
All
Stained,
right, it's stained.
discoloration, as well as the stains.
All right, so they're saying the structure is stained, needs to be either cleaned or painted. I don't know if cleaning will work, but that's not my call. So you need to do something, or your mother needs to do something with this.
Yeah, we just got the whole house pressure cleaned, so it looks like painting's the next step. To be honest with you, when we read the violation and it said stained structured, we didn't really have a clarification, so that's why we just got the roof pressure clean, got the driveway pressure clean. Obviously, there's some deep stains in there. They did pressure clean the sides of houses. I mean, to be honest with you, I do see it as stained. Angles do make it worse. But yeah, like you said, it is painting. So whatever extension that you guys are here to offer, we are willing to go to painted. We're just here for the
Given
clarification.
the fact that you are taking steps towards this 5/1/5/14, I'll give you till the beginning of May. It's a good, this is the dry season. If you're going to paint something, this is the time to do it.
Yes, sir.
So 5/1/5/14/25. And like I said, call them when the paint's drying. All right, let them come by and say, look, how pretty, you know? Okay, 5/1/5/14/25 is granted.
Thank you. Next case down,
You get an order in the mail? Have a good one.
25-0060, 277 Saratoga Boulevard, Ruddy A. Garcia.
4 in a row.
Go ahead.
Code section 06190A1, description structure stained. I observed the violation on 1/22/25. The mail was mailed out on 1/22/25. It was returned back on 1/25/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. And Exhibit 4, an affidavit of compliance.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be an easy one.
Rudy, I'm sorry, I mispronounced. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and the signed green card. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation, and Exhibit 4 is affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
Thank you.
All right, finding of fact is granted. Is that it? All right, so finding of fact means that you did it, okay? But you are subject to a repeat violation if the building is stained in the next 5 years. So as long as your paint job holds out till 2030, you're good.
Can I have a question with this?
Sure.
It's a zero property line. So that is coming from my neighbor. So how am I responsible for his sprinklers hitting my wall? Like, I get it.
That is a civil matter between you two. That's what happens when you build houses that are really big on really little lots. I mean,
Yeah, but I guess it just doesn't make sense to me where it's the sprinklers that's causing the damage is not really, I'm not causing any damage to it.
Sounds like you have a cause of action against your neighbors for nuisance.
Okay.
You know, unfortunately, like I said, beautiful houses, small lots, zero lot lines, you know, you really can't even walk around your own house. It's a weird thing. I would never do that, but that's just me.
Okay.
All right, so finding of fact is granted, you're good.
Thank you. Next, top of page 6, 25-0048, Madison Green, Wyndham HOA, Wyndham Village Homeowners Association, Inc.
Sean Patterson, authorized agent for Wyndham Village Homeowners Association.
All right, spell both of your names because there's too many Seans out there in the world.
SHAUN. Last name PATTERSON.
Now, the second name was going to be easy. It's like there's Sean, there's with an H, there's just none, you know,
Irish
all
spelling.
those. All right, and you are the authorized agent for the HOA.
Yep.
Okay.
This would be code section 2632, 151, and 1571. That description would be failure to meet condition of approval, landscape general requirements, and removal of native vegetation. It was mailed out on 1/17/25 and posted on 1/30/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence: notice of violation, notice of hearing, actually, as well as a posting in the Sunbiz info. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. And Exhibit 4, AS 400 permit info.
So you don't want all this in? This was a new.
Linda told me to keep it with the file.
Do you want all the statutory sections in the code in the? He didn't read that in the list of exhibits, so we need to read it in if we're going to. All right, these are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and the notice of hearing. The notice of violation itself. The notice of hearing.
This is the location it was mailed to?
Yes.
That's not the correct address. And that's not on Sundays.
Well, that's what's on the tax collector and the property appraiser, and that's where we're required to send it. We also posted though, so it doesn't matter. This is an affidavit showing it was posted to the property.
Where was it posted? At the property?
We'll get there.
Okay.
So you can have objections at the end, but let me finish what I'm saying, and then you can object to whatever point you want. So this is a notice of hearing. Here's the signed certified mail that was signed for.
Okay.
Okay. Notice of hearing. The Sunbiz information.
Okay.
For the homeowners association. Second page of that. Property appraiser printout showing ownership of the affected area. And then dated photographs of the violation. final exhibit is Exhibit 4 is the village's permit information.
Okay.
Any objection to the documents?
The only objection is just posting at the property.
Okay.
All right, well, admitted over objection because they have a signed green card, it doesn't matter.
Excuse me?
All right, so they pulled out a tree or something?
We need to enter one additional exhibit.
Pulled out multiple trees.
Can you explain what the exhibit is?
Landscape plan for the development.
Exhibit 5 is the landscape plan. Is that the approved landscape plan for the development?
Landscaping and plat.
It's showing the plat. There's not actually a plan for the development. The development has a requirement of the trees, and then it talks about the spacing, but it doesn't actually show a map of all the trees.
Okay. So this is actually the plat.
That's right.
Okay. So Exhibit 5 is.
There is some part of the landscape plan that's in there,
So Exhibit 5 is the
Crestwood
plat.
Boulevard.
Any objection to this document?
No. Yeah, the rest is fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Admitted without objection, part 2, plat and landscaping stuff. So I take it someone removed multiple trees because I see different spots.
It was a lot of trees that were removed without,
Without a vegetative removal permit or anything like that, because someone probably said they're ugly or they're leaking on my sidewalks, and no one cares about required vegetation or stuff like that. Your turn.
Okay. So the trees were removed based off of Florida Statute 163045 in regards to the trees were causing material damage. Picture right there showing that it was, the roots were heading towards the fire hydrants. The other trees were actually hitting or coming close to water lines. That was the original intention of the removal of the trees. And they did talk to the landscape arborist. The board members actually walked around with that landscape arborist and worked with them on removing the trees that were causing that harm to the water lines and to the potential fire lines itself. City was called by a homeowner, and instead of going back and forth with statutes, the board members decided to work with the city in regards to getting a permit, because that was the one thing they didn't do. And in the process of going through the permit process, they realized that the city did not have the landscape plans. So currently, the board members and the city are working on getting a vegetation permit approved, but they need more time because now they have to actually create a landscape plan that should have been with the documents that were originally permitted and approved by the city when this development was created. Last conversation they had with, I think it was an engineer from my conversations earlier today, is that this process it's going to be cumbersome and it will take some time, especially since the cost for it will be about 10 to 15,000. So it's not something that's easily accessible or done. So instead of going back and forth, we're just requesting a continuance or at least time to comply, either 90 to 180 days, to give the association time to get that plot map done, get it approved by the city, which then could be used to approve the vegetation permit, because they can't do anything now until that's actually completed.
All right, and what does the village say? Because I don't really believe that statute is going to trump your ordinances with regards to these things.
Well, but he has to have a letter signed by a certified arborist here tonight with him to prove that. His testimony is not enough.
No, he's not an arborist.
In the meeting with Bradford O'Brien, Robert Hill, Mr. Sutton, that code pertains to residential property, not HOA property, and that was explained to Mr. Sutton at that meeting, that Florida state statute.
That statute is something that can be disputed.
Well, I have taken the dispute and called it not in your favor. So We are not disputing a problem now. It is not a dispute. So we are moving on to the next phase, which is, what does the village think about their plan? Because you didn't ask anyone when you whacked the trees. So what is your response to his 180-day request, which I think is a bit excessive?
Long time, yeah. We were asking for compliance by 5/1 or appearance at the 5/14 hearing. We'd ask that you set the 5/14 hearing for a status/fine assessment hearing, so he can come back. That's more than 2 months from now, and show us.
Yep. And how much of a fine?
$25 a day.
Can I request an extension of that time? Because
You
just to
did
get
and you don't get it. Okay, you get an extra couple months to get this thing moving. If it's going along well, maybe I'll do it then, but you're coming back for a status/fine assessment hearing. That means you're telling me what the status is. If I don't have status, I have a fine. If you have a good status report, you get bumped again. I've bumped people for months, but if you're not doing stuff, you're gonna get fined.
So in regards to the landscape plan then, should we just request it from them? Because that's the main thing that's taking up the time. If the village had.
That also was explained. When that development came in, the developer said, we're going to plant a tree, so many trees in the swale, blah, 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 blah. And that's the development order. There's not a plan per se. You have your plat, and then the only thing that they actually planned out was the Crestwood Boulevard road right-of-way. Everything else was put in by saying that they were going to put in X amount of trees.
But that's now being requested of us now. So we're being requested for something that wasn't originally put in place when the village was.
This is not, if you guys want to work out a wonderfully detailed landscape plan with canopy heights and all that stuff, that's fine and dandy. But right now, there's a development order for that property that says you have to have X trees and you don't have X trees because you've cut 3 or 4 of them down. That's just the way of the world. And if you're going to try to make some sort of self-harm blame thing as an excuse, it don't work.
I'm not looking for self-harm
so
blame.
you have until 5/1 to get this permitted, and if you don't, you're coming back at the 5/14 hearing and telling us all about it. And if stuff is happening, you get more time, and if stuff ain't happening, you're getting fined. Okay,
So
simple
we'll make
as
sure
that.
to go forward with that then. So thank you for your.
You're welcome. All right, someone will get an order in the mail.
Thank you. Next case is the next one down on the agenda, 24-0718, 600 Business Parkway, Royal Palm Beach, Florida, Propco LLC.
Margaret Hancock, Code Enforcement Inspector for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. Code Sections 275, 2021, 2041, 1254, 142, 15141, 2349, B6, 6195, and 2661G. Color change without approval, prohibited signs, signs without permits, dead, dying, missing landscape, curbs and walkways in disrepair, roof is stained, dumpster not screened, miscellaneous items in public view. I observed this violation on 9/3/24, sent out a notice of violation, certified mail. On 9/6/24, sent out a notice of hearing, certified mail. On 11/20/24, post both of those to the property. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, AS400 permit information.
Your name, ma'am?
Melissa Hines,
Spell your last name, please.
NES.
And your relation to the LLC?
I'm the administrator for the facility.
The village would like to enter into the record, Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation. This violation itself and the certified mail that came back. Exhibit 2 is the affidavit of service for the notice of hearing. Again, the certified mail that came back, the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership, showing who owns the property. Exhibit 4 is dated photographs. Exhibit 5 is the village's permit information. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. How many pictures do I get to look at? All right. A couple of affidavits of service, so they were posted a couple of times. Chunks of curb missing, chunks of sidewalk missing.
They have started the permit process for the curbing and the walkway. In addition to that, they're going to be doing the potholes with that same permit application. And they have to do that separate, the potholes.
All right, so what's up with the color change? Because they had an approved color and they just changed it, right?
They painted the building a different color without approval. They have signs. They have a lot of stuff to do with the landscape, so they are working on that process, getting it started. Miscellaneous items left on the property.
Yep, okay. What business is this?
This is a nursing home.
It's a nursing home? Okay.
So I do want to speak on the curbing. So the letter was dated for September 3rd. I didn't start until September 24th, so the process was delayed. We did start working on the curbing. However, we didn't know that there was a whole permit for the village. So we did initiate the permit as you confirmed. And then also for the miscellaneous items throughout the property, in one of the photos you'll see, I think it's like pallets. Being that we are a nursing home, we do receive food shipments and we do receive medical supplies daily. So it is kind of hard to hide those pallets. We can't keep inside the facility for safety reasons. So I just want to know your suggestion as far as those pallets that we receive daily.
Take them somewhere else. It's not the village's job to store your pallets. If you're going to have pallets that are delivered, part of the site plan should have been an area where you store the pallets. These are your, operations, and you know what you need. It's kind of like, if Lowe's wants to store things, they get to store them inside their building or footprint or inside the closed-in portion of their building. They don't get to store them on the outside like they try to do all the time, and Lowe's gets in trouble for that. And I talk to them a lot because they don't have the right places to do this, and they're going to try to have more areas designated on their property. You got to do the same thing that Lowe's does. You just can't leave them laying around because we get them, we need them, we can't store them. It's not an excuse.
Okay, so I understand that.
If you're going to have someone drop it off, you need to have them unloaded, take the pallets with them, or you guys need to take the pallets and move them somewhere else, or you need to break them down and put them in a dumpster. But you just can't sit there and go, well, we got pallets, we're just going to leave them here.
Okay, so I do understand that. So we do receive it daily, so we will work on finding a process for that.
All that really requires is a hammer and a pry bar.
Okay, it's just going to fill up our garbage, but I hear what you're saying.
We have signs without permits, dead dying, they're all applying for stuff. I don't know what you want to do with them. Are you going to give them time? It's up to you.
Yeah, we're asking for compliance by May 1st or appearance at the 514 hearing or $25 a day fine.
Consistent with everybody else. All right, you have to get these things permitted by the 1st of May. Hopefully you'll do it.
Okay, so just to clarify, so we just need the permits approved by May 1st, but the work.
Well, it's my understanding if they get the permits approved by May 1st, it becomes a building department issue, not a code enforcement issue, unless there are things laying around that require code enforcement attention. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. But they do need to move forward. It's not just the curbing and the walkways. They also need the vegetation removal permit. They need approval for the color change, approval and permits for the signs.
Yeah, a whole bunch of the stuff.
Right here, is that something separate? The color change and the stucco that you're referring to?
The color change is an AAR approval. The stucco would be a permit.
Architectural, some
Review.
aesthetic review. Thanks, I gotta get the jargon down.
Yesterday, too, with the items, I didn't include a picture. I guess I should have. Not only did you have the pallets here, but remember we spoke about the pallet and the bed that was broken on the other side of the building, as well as chairs and stuff behind the building. You just can't leave miscellaneous items outside. You'll have to try to figure out, maybe you have a courtyard or something that you could put the chairs in while they're drying or something like that. They can't be just
I don't want
left
to seem
outside.
difficult. I hear what everyone's saying. As far as the chairs that you're referring to are wheelchairs. So once we wash the wheelchairs, we put them outside to dry. We can't keep them inside the building. It is a safety hazard for the residents. We can't leave it just laying in the courtyard. So we put it outside behind the facility where you can't even see the chairs.
The chairs do not bother me as much as your big old stack of pallets back there. If you have a bed on the side of the building, that's not a chair either. I can
Yeah, it was,
overlook.
they said it was broken.
I can overlook drying wheelchairs. That's just going to be out there for a couple hours and it should be good. But if you're going to have, I mean, look at that big stack of pallets back there.
We receive food shipment every day, so I hear what
You're
you're
either going to
saying.
have some bonfires, you're going to have some trash things. Whatever you're going to do to get rid of it, you need to get rid of it. It looks trashy. It's a safety hazard. It can grow vermin. There's all kinds of stuff there. It's not an approved storage area. So you have until May 1st to get these things done.
Okay.
If you have questions, talk to the code officer.
Question. So regarding this permit that was approved, what was this permit approved for then? It's permit 25000178.
That was for the curbing and the walkway, was it not? The exterior renovation?
Is that? And then also I have another permit approval number for the color.
Oh, see, that makes life easy for you on the color part.
Oh, God, issue 3.5. So this permit is for the repair of the curbing, sidewalks, and driveway and stucco on the exterior of the building.
And then I have another permit approval number, which is B2.
Yeah, that's just the permit, that's the application.
Oh, okay.
All right, so no objection. All right, 'cause no changes to the site plan. They actually need changes to the site plan if they want to do things.
I mean, I didn't get them for permit, I got them for being in disrepair.
All right, multifamily work.
Got a permit,
They
so,
need to fix it though, right? They need to fix the repairs, not just have the permit for that.
yeah. Especially the walkways.
Yeah.
So that permit doesn't comply anything, but she's getting closer. The curbing needs to be fixed.
Yeah, it needs to be fixed or you're going to have liability issues when people trip and sue you.
Sidewalk with that, there's that area, and then there was another area.
Yep, well, I saw the one on the inside of the curb right there, yeah, and that area by the tree. You just want a wandering resident to fall off, break a hip.
Correct. So just to clarify, we did cut that out to start the project, but then we needed a permit. So it wasn't there originally when we were cited. We were cited for something else, and then we started working on the curbing of the facility. So
Once you're in sight of everyone, they just don't say, oh yeah, we're going to ignore that one too. So,
no, I understand.
you're supposed to get your permits before you do the work.
And we know now, yes.
We know now. 5151425 is granted.
Thank you.
We got,
Just to get the permit submitted for the vegetation and then for the curbing to be completed.
yes.
All of your violations need to be cured by May 1st. Yep, and you'll get an order that says
everything.
that.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, please.
24-1035, 305 Las Palmas Street, Monique M. King.
Code section 06190A, 35, and 124C. Sidewalk and driveway are stained, garbage can in public view. Observe this violation on 12/31/24, sent out notice of violation and notice of hearing on 1/2/25, and it was signed for on 1/6/25. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Monique King.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing, and the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation. And Exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Okay. The house number's 305,
Yes, it is.
Miami's area code.
Yes.
All right, so she's good. Finding a fact. You're good.
you.
Finding
Have
a
a great
fact
day.
is granted.
25-0017, 198 Sparrow Drive, number A, letter A, Maramy and Robert Bazin.
Code section 622-108.4, 1121 AC, interior renovations without permit, fire alarm not maintained or inspected. I observe this violation on 1/3/25, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 1/6/25, posted it to the property. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, AS 400 permit information. And Exhibit 4 is an email from the fire inspector.
You have an affidavit.
No, that posted it. I'm sorry. Is it not? It's not in the back. I forgot to do my affidavit of service.
Oh, well,
My name is Maomi Bazin. Maomi, Maromie, Bazin, Bazin.
Thank you. Your name, sir?
Robert Bazin.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is the village's permit information. And Exhibit 4 is an email from the fire department. Any objection to these documents?
I didn't receive this.
No, you would not have received it prior to tonight.
Oh, okay.
Any objection to these documents? You can take time if you need to read it.
no objections?
Yeah, the problem is,
No, we're just talking about the documents.
the documents, no.
Okay, so now we can talk about the case. All right, admitted without objection. So, all right.
So that,
Matthew,
okay, so this was
seems like
brought,
a multi-family kind of thing, right?
yeah, this was brought to my attention from the fire inspector, Dawn, I believe her name was, that the prior evening, they had a fire code at that dwelling, 198 Sparrow. Fire alarm went off. When the firemen got there, they did look up that the fire sprinklers had not been maintained. The permit has not been renewed. And then upon entering the home, the firemen took note that there were a lot of interior renovations to the home, adding several different bedrooms. And he knew they definitely could not have been permitted because some of the walls were right on top of the fire sprinklers, causing a serious, risk. Since then, I did speak with Ms. Bazin's daughter at the resident phone, and I've been in touch with a Mr. Walter, who I believe they're hiring as a contractor to obtain the correct permits for the work done and/or to remove the work that was done.
Okay. So you did a lot of interior work without permits?
Yes, because I didn't know. if I cannot do interior with permit. I didn't know that.
Okay, well,
I didn't know
you
that.
know it now, and you are trying to get the things permitted. All right. What does the village want with this?
These are life safety issues, so we're asking for.
This is some serious stuff.
Yeah, we're asking for quick compliance.
Sorry.
So we're asking. Right, we're asking for compliance by March 27th or appearance at the April 9th fine hearing or $150 a day fine. Given the nature of the violations, they need to get complied with and/or, the property restored, especially the fire sprinklers. But the unpermitted work needs to be restored if it's not allowed to be there, which is probably the case based on the type of dwelling that it is. But that's for the permit side of things.
Steve, this looks like a house, right? And they've got billion rooms in there. Right. That's just wrong.
So there's.
From a Jewish community, ALF, I bought the house to do a group home. And when I come for the zoning, they told me, no, I cannot do it because the house is residential. I don't even know, because it was an ALF. And they told me it's residential, I cannot do the group home. It took me like a year to lease the house because nobody don't want to get it. The house is too big. I have east side and west side. The east side has only one bedroom, and the west side has 6 bedrooms. Nobody don't want to get the house like this. And they told me the house is residential. I cannot do anything in the house. So I'm trying to list the house. I'm almost 66 years old. I have to go back to work. I even get my Social Security. I have to return all the money because of the house. I put everything I have in the house. And when they send me the violation, I have only one daughter, 38 years old, has a stroke, and just having a baby. The baby has tetralogy of Fallot. So I have a lot of pressure and everything. I cannot do anything right now. And I have a lot of things going on. That's why I didn't do it, because I have to tell you sincerely, I didn't know if I cannot do anything in the house, inside of the house. I didn't know that.
Okay. Well.
But I'm coming to see if you guys can give me some days to make it, because I just have an architect who's going to help me with everything, the fire alarm, the plan. I have a plan here in my phone, but he sent me the plan. I didn't have the plan to show you. I have it in my phone.
Well, show it to council. Show it to the attorney.
Yeah.
No, show it to the attorney now.
Oh, okay, because they said something I have to... I have the proposal. I have the proposal, and I have okay.
So you're trying to restore it back to the original design. That's what you're doing?
Yes.
That's the plan. Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. But I want to know if is there another way I can do it, because I spend a lot of money.
Let me show this to the magistrate.
Yes.
Can I take your phone? Is
Yes,
that okay?
yes.
Hold on.
No.
See it.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, we can see the phone there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. The next question is,
No objection to this invoice or this.
all right, so it's more back to a normal.
The invoice suggests that they're reverting it back to the original floor plan.
Got it. Okay, you can take this back or use it or whatever.
Can the village keep this copy, or do you need this back?
You can keep it, because I have it here. I can
Okay.
make another one.
Yes.
All right, now how many people are living there?
I rented to a lady, and my daughter has to live on the house now because she cannot pay rent because of her condition. And my daughter lives in 2 bedrooms, and I rented to a lady. But the lady is so blessed to
There's
two or
only,
three
your
people.
daughter, maybe a baby? She said
My daughter?
your daughter, a baby, and someone else, right? That's it?
Yes. No.
Somebody else subleases it to other people.
Oh, they lease it out to other people?
Yes, a lady, I rented it. I don't
So
know. The only thing I have, I leased it for a year. I don't know if I have to put them out. If you guys can give
We would
me
ask you to
something for them to
keep
put
the dates
them
that we're
out.
recommending, and she can come back
If
later.
if no one was in there, I'd extend it.
No, it's
but
fully
there's
inhabited.
If it's fully occupied, you need to work on getting these things done as soon as you can, because, if a fire starts, oh my God, everyone's going to be trapped.
But the lady told me to give, because of the architect say he has to start like next month, but the lady said I have to give them like 90 days to come out of the house for them to demo the house.
I'm just worried about the condition that it is in right now. I'm going to sign an order for 327, and if you can get things going and fixed, you can come back for a fine reduction hearing. But this is just a big mess.
You mean on
It's
17
dangerous.
days?
What?
You mean it's like 16 days?
Yeah, because right now, there's too many people in there. There's a fire issue, and something's going to need to happen, and the village is not going to want to add their name to the lawsuit by saying we let them stay in there forever. So you can come back for a fine reduction, but right now, this is a serious life, safety, and health care issue.
And the violation was written, just so the magistrate's clear, but in January, so we're already a couple of months into the pipeline.
Okay. And that's all I can do right now because of the way it's set up. So 327, 49, 150 granted.
Thank you. Next case is the next one down, 25-0019, 342 Sandpiper Avenue, Mark and Michelle Conley.
Code sections 14.4A, 14.2, 06190A3 and H, 06135. Disabled vehicles, miscellaneous items in public view, driveway is stained, shutters closed, house numbers not visible from the roadway. Observe this violation on 1/6/25, send out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 1/7/25. Believe I got the green card back, or did I post that? Got the green card, I didn't write that down, I apologize. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Your name, sir?
Mark Conley.
Thank you, sir. I was banking that was you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violations.
This white car is the problem. It doesn't run, but I'm trying to get a tow company to
We'll
come
get
pull it out of there.
Yep, we'll get there in just 1 second. Let me just show you all the photographs, and then you can explain that to the magistrate.
Okay.
Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
Okay, and now you can
All right,
explain.
admitted without objection. What else do we have here? Signed green card for service. Dead white car.
HHR, a small Chevy car in between the red car and the boat.
Yeah, no,
Tire.
Yeah.
Doesn't move. Does the red vehicle move?
Yes, it does.
And it has a tag on it?
It does.
Okay. 'Cause I couldn't
it's
see
the
that.
HHR. We used to play a game when we drove up to Kentucky, and one of the things you could get points for was HHRs and Volkswagens. I don't know why. Kind of rare and ugly, actually.
Slug bugs and HHRs, huh?
Yep, it was. You got to do something to keep the kids amused while you're driving 14 hours. All right, so you're working on the disabled vehicle, what's the miscellaneous, oh, the side of the house, got it.
There's stuff here, and then there's
Yeah,
also
here,
stuff on the front
there,
porch.
stuff everywhere.
As soon as the white car moves, I can pressure clean the driveway. I have a pressure cleaner in my back patio.
Yeah, okay. Do you have a title to the white car?
I have a title for it, yes.
Because most of these scrap people will pay you a few $100s if you have a title and you can get it they'll pull it for you. All right, and then we have driveway stains, shutters, I don't see.
Shutters on both sides of the house, they're clear.
It's,
one of those.
it's like sand.
Yeah, well, it's also
Only
not
time you can
permitted.
have those is if they're 7 feet in the air.
Okay, I can take them off.
Yeah, those need to come off. They probably
House
would-
number's not visible
They're
from the
just
road.
screwed on. I just had the house painted not long ago, so they've been off in the recent past, so I'll be able to get them off, no problem.
All right, I'm just trying to think of a reasonable amount of time to accomplish all of this. All right, what's our reasonable amount of time?
We're asking for compliance by May 1st or the May 14th fine hearing, or
That's
$25
more than
a day
enough time.
fine.
Yeah, you can get all this done by May 1st. As a matter of fact, smart move would be to tell her, email her every time you fix something. Okay. It's like, you can drive by and see that the stuff's gone from the side.
Yes.
You can see that the
Yeah,
next
stuff from the
email
side,
is
the
like,
stuff from the side, my sons do AC work, so that's their garbage. They'll move that for me.
they'll move that for you. Send them another one when the tow company is taking away the HHR, all that. Yeah, and you'll be able to get all this done by May 1st.
And you gotta trim the bush up front so we can see the house numbers.
Yeah, the house numbers are on the mailbox, by the way, also.
They have to be on the house.
They're on the house. I do understand you can't see them.
Visible from the
I had a
roadway.
stroke in the recent past, and I'm working only part-time now, so I had to cut back on my lawn service guys. So they haven't been trimming my bushes. But I'll get it trimmed down. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, get it trimmed, just get, the numbers are the easiest thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then you work your
Yeah,
way
I'll be able to
through
get- I'll be able
the
to get
trash
that.
on the side, and then you work your way into the car out of the way, and then you can pressure clean everything. So May 1st, or appear at the May 14th hearing, or face a $25 a day fine. So you get an order in the mail, just get it all done by the 1st of May, and make sure you call them when you get it done. Okay?
But they're gonna send me something in the mail too, correct?
Yeah, I got to sign it, then they'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Top of page 725-0026, 2300
finally
Shoma
there.
Drive, Shoma at Royal Palm Condo Association, Inc.
Sections 2349, 814, 95, 14.2, and 1253. Potholes are throughout the drive aisles. Perimeter hedge exceeds allowable height and not maintained. Trash and debris on property.
Thanks.
I observed this violation on 1/7/25, sent out notice violation, notice of hearing on 1/10/25, and got the green card signed and not dated. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Names for the record, please.
Home Lagos, Living Boynton, property manager for Shoma.
Spell your last name. Any other property manager, and you, sir?
Sergey Malenikov.
Sergey is your first name?
Yeah.
Spell your last name.
Melnikov.
And you are relation?
Vice President.
VP. Okay.
For the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record, Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and this signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property.
Can I take a picture of that?
Sure. Exhibit 3 are dated photographs of violation. Any objection to the documents being entered?
No, locations for those pictures would be helpful for the landscaping.
Okay, I can have the code officer explain.
But then I would need copies, of course, to know exactly.
Yeah, and you can make a public records request to get whatever
Okay.
documents you want.
Chapter 119, Florida statutes is what you call it, public records request. All right, you have service fee assigned green cards, and
Can you just generally explain the locations of the photos as you flip through them?
the hedge is along some roadway, and there's a little lake in the middle of a road. Pothole with water in it.
Those are fair, I'm just interested with the landscaping, that's all.
The landscaping?
Yeah,
They can figure out the potholes because they've got cones on them.
that's easy.
Right here is right by the gate that goes from Shoma to Publix. You can see all the debris here. That's again where these photos here are from. This photo is in front of the perimeter road, as you can see, by Steak and Shake, Motor City Car Wash, and in front of Shoma. Same with this. That's right in front of Steak and Shake. Showing your property here. Your property's here, back here, these hedge back here. This hedge is not yours, and this was already trimmed.
Okay, so theirs is the hedge behind the hedge.
Hedge,
Gotcha.
along with all the
other one
debris.
looked horrible. Okay. So there's a hedge behind the green, whatever it is, in front that I see that isn't trimmed.
It's all back here, all this mess back here. Not this nice Calusa hedge, that belongs to somebody else. And they managed to take care of that for me.
I have a question.
But it's all this.
Yeah, we have several questions.
Just on those pictures, you're on the adjacent property, correct, taking that picture?
I was on the sidewalk going,
No, is that the perspective? Yeah, the perspective on the other side of,
the retention area. We spoke the other day.
I just didn't see these pictures before, so I was wondering what you were looking at.
And the potholes are pretty much all over. Small ones, larger ones.
Yeah, we got rain, huh? That's rare. Okay, so plethoras of potholes.
Yeah, there's a lot more. I didn't include all the pictures.
Oh, you got enough, believe me. We have enough pothole pictures to do the pothole part of this. Okay, so
Currently working on pothole repair.
Yeah,
Have a contract.
We do have a contract signed by professional company who is applying for the permits to get this fixed.
all right, and when is the,
Contract is here. I
when's
believe
the start date? Do you know? Do you have something in that?
building department when they're gonna get approved, so we signed contract,
On March 3rd, so within 30 days, I believe.
yeah, they said 30 days gonna take for the building department to get approved.
And so you've hired someone, why don't you show that to council? Council, why don't you just check and make sure we have a contractual looking document so we can see.
Sure.
Everyone's papering you today. No objection? All right. Yeah, I just want to make sure people signed it. It's just not a proposal that's just floating out there.
Nope, there's numbers.
There's numbers, there's electronic signatures. Yeah, the paving lady authorized signature. Hey. Okay.
Next question, the debris concern, that's located within the landscaping?
All
that
within the
needs- okay.
landscaping, all over.
Yeah, it's just,
Care of, again, I guess when we figure out the landscaping issue that we have questions on.
okay.
I don't see, again.
Yeah, we got the plan, but we don't see what's our responsibility as a community to maintain. It doesn't say exactly what, it's from the fence, we have to maintain 15 feet, 10 feet. It doesn't say anything on it, like
Well,
we don't
you
have the
hopefully
numbers.
will have a survey or a plat that shows your boundaries, and then you get to see what's inside of those
A
boundaries.
survey usually give you area what Shoma owns, so that, like territory. They're not gonna tell you like, okay, you have to maintain 15 feet behind the fence or 15 feet, you know, from the asphalt or something. They're not gonna tell you that.
Well, it's,
Numbers go by, so we just kind of like, I'm gonna be honest with you, the hedges, you know, I own units there since back in 2008. It's never been cut. It's been like that all the time. And I did.
well, that means it's
met
been
with the code
crap
enforcement
since
officer.
2008. It needs to be maintained.
The fence is Shoma's, and so definitely everything inside the fence is yours to
But
maintain.
the code enforcement officer talking about outside of the fence. That's why we kind of confused right now how far we have to maintain, because someone is cutting the grass, and I did meet with her at the site. She said,
Publix cuts the grass, and I met with Jerome yesterday. I believe, is that when I gave you the paper that shows the 15-foot buffer?
doesn't
I
say
have it
that.
on email, right? You sent me, it just doesn't show the buffer on the adjacent side of the property line, which is.
We could meet you on site and go over it again.
Can
We don't have
get
time
something in
to
paper because
do it
it's
tonight.
going to be extra expense for the community, so we got to show to them it is on a paper. We have to maintain this because if we cut it right now, it's going to be expense for the Shoma, and the people's going to say like, why did you guys cut it? Because it's never been cut. So we need something in paper shows it's us. We're responsible to maintain. We don't need to own it, but at least we need to responsible to maintain the area.
Are you talking about things inside the fence? Beside the fence?
Ms. Marty was kind enough to share some of the survey, and it's still on that, does not show definitive number of feet of maintained on the opposite side of the property line.
We'll meet, let's have you meet with the code officer on site, but this was a planned community, so there's no world where the association is not responsible for the required landscape buffer, okay? That's, you're responsible. The HOA is responsible for maintaining the buffer. We can get you the document, we can point you to the right document. The documents I think she gave you yesterday were part of the approval for the development. So that's what's showing you that there's a required 15-foot landscape buffer, and as part of that approval from the village, that would require the HOA to maintain that. This is a townhome community, right? So there's an HOA document that speaks to maintenance responsibility. So we can help you find the documents, but at least the documents I'm looking at here are the village approval documents, which will clearly say that the HOA is responsible.
Can I ask a question? On the east side of the property, it's the hedges, whatever the code enforcement pointed out last time, it's been cut to 6 feet tall. But we do not maintain those hedges. That's not us. That belongs to the Bank of America or the car wash. They maintain
So
them.
I think the best thing
So
is
we
for you
kinda,
guys
like,
to meet
confused
on
with the
site.
distance, like what.
He spoke with you about that, and that's in this
Yes,
picture.
yes,
This
yes.
Calusa hedge in the picture above has already been cut by Bank of America, Steak and Shake and all that. The problem in this area here is behind this hedge, which is behind and along inside your fence. It's all your fence is here, intertwined in all this mess, that the majority of it is on the interior of your property and now has overgrown.
Through the fence
and overdue and dead and dying and debris all in this area.
Because on a
You
north
need to
side-
clean out everything from your fence inside minimum.
So I have pictures of at least the north fence.
Yeah, north fence.
That show our fence line, and there's just grass. There's no shrubs or bushes or trees. I have them from yesterday. I was doing a property clean along that fence line on the north side.
We'll meet at the property and go over it. Now's not the time.
This is on the east side. Sure.
Right.
We have potholes coming out of our potholes, coming out of our potholes, and I'm going to do an order on that and everything else and pick me a day. And if they don't have, if you're confused, she'll come out there and talk to you. But all the stuff inside the fence should at least be done, and the stuff that's going through the fence should not be going through the fence. And the stuff that has grown through the fence, you ought to take care of too, because you're trespassing.
Sure.
So pick me some dates.
Compliance by May 1st or the May 14th fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Fine. And that gives you more than enough opportunity to go, Ms. Hancock, get another inspection out there and show you what you need to do, but definitely everything inside, and God, all those potholes. 5-1, 5-14, 25 granted.
Last violation hearing on this page, 25-0170-192 Salcedo Street, Francis D. Barber.
Code sections 12-4C, garbage can in public view. Observed this violation on 2/3/25, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 2/14/25, and I got the green card back on 2/18/25. Like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, picture. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay, so it's going to be a finding of fact eventually.
Francis Barber. Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is photographs, dated photographs of the violation. And then Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
All right, finding of fact is granted.
And a finding of service?
And a finding of service via signed green card is also found. Hi, Ms. Barber, you fixed it, you're good. No, you fixed it, you're good. You fixed it, you're good.
I can't hear you.
You're all done.
I'm done?
You're in compliance.
Fixed it.
Thank you.
You'll get an order in the mail.
Now we're at fine mitigation hearings,
I
case
kind of expected that.
11
3 cases, yeah.
-1732-10710 Bobby Lane, Mylan Cesario.
All right, this is the big one.
Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Good evening, Your Magistrate.
Your name, ma'am?
Miss Maylene Cesario.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the fine amount in this case is $53,150.
Okay, so in 2012, I signed an order. My signature hasn't changed. That's pretty good. And you didn't do anything? You fixed it? What happened?
Yes, I did fix it. Miss Margaret came by the property and she inspected. When this situation happened, I was not living in that property, but I know that I'm the owner, I'm responsible. The situation is that it was a lien put in my property because I didn't know what was going on. I was in Palm Beach County. I was living in Orlando at the time. The problem is that now my father passed away, and my mom couldn't handle it. She got a stroke and a heart attack this past year, and she's actually dying on me. She was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, and she's doing really bad. Since she got mentally ill, her property passed on my name since I'm the only child, and her property needed to be sold because it was association fee that I could no longer pay because I lost my job. And actually right now I'm out of work. I have a teenager with severe disabilities, including severe autism. And it's been very horrible and difficult, all my situation. So my parents' property got sold, and now I'm dealing with this situation, but I'm here today to ask you if you can help me with this case that I have, because if this money get taken away, I'm about to lose my home because I'm out of work and my house is in foreclosure. And if I lose my property, I'm going to be homeless with my special need. I have these papers.
And what is this?
And this is when Miss Margaret came by the property and inspected. I was in compliance.
This your affidavits of compliances?
Yeah, this is an affidavit of compliance. You know the compliance date, that's all.
Not a problem. If you're gonna help, go up there and help. We don't mind. I don't yell at anyone for helping. See,
In here, they wrote down that as 1036.
That's the fine amount I just told the magistrate based on this compliance date.
And you had one that said to stop it, to stop the payment.
It says,
That's based on the date, that's right. So this amount is based on that stopping of the fine running on that date.
so it's from 2011 to
It's the same
2017.
thing. You're okay. So that's the same thing the village is saying. The property, this was a 2012 case, as you said, and it came into compliance in October of 2017.
17, so,
Right, so that's how the fine in total was calculated.
yeah, if it didn't stop in 2017, it'd be over 100,000. The problem I have here is normally somebody comes in for this is going to sell their house or do something like that. And they're going to ask to have the fine reduced to an amount that they can use to sell their house or that they can pay. And it doesn't sound like you have any ability to pay anything to do this. So do you have an amount you can suggest instead of the $53,150 that you can pay to reduce or pay to do this?
Can we ask her, are you trying to sell this property?
my house? No, the house, the soul was my parents'
So
property.
this is where you live now?
Yes, I don't have no intention of selling my house. I actually had the intention of saving it because I don't have nowhere to go. I don't have no family. I lost my father and I'm about to lose my mom.
Yeah, the problem is this is not being foreclosed or anything is being done with this.
It's being foreclosed right
No,
now.
no,
Right.
with this lien. What I'm talking about is this lien is not being foreclosed.
Defending in this, in the foreclosure action.
Oh, you're defending in the foreclosure action from the lender to the property. All I'm saying is there is not a open foreclosure case from Royal Palm Beach on this lien.
Gotten authorization to
So
foreclose.
there, and I don't even know, whatever, if you can or not. It's all, yeah, I'm just trying to think of what you're trying to accomplish here, because if I waive it to like nothing, you're still in the middle of a foreclosure case.
If you waive it, I can be able to maybe save my home because
But how do you save your home?
I can probably pay what I'm behind on it and be able to save my house.
I'm sure there have been 24 code cases.
Yeah, and the problem with this is Royal Palm is doing nothing. If this is wiped out, it does nothing to your foreclosure case. You can pay the foreclosure case and just let this sit. Yeah, that's why it just makes no practical sense, because normally when someone wants something waived, they have an amount they can think of. And you don't sound like you can pay anything.
I can probably pay, I don't know, a reasonable amount so I can have enough money to be able to save my house.
See, but you can't tell me what that is. What is that?
Maybe 10,000.
Yeah, okay. Now we're talking real. All right, what was the village's number?
We're amenable to reduce it to $11,502.02 payable by 5/12. And we'd ask you to consider the number of cases as well as the fact that we're defending a foreclosure.
I've got a bad story on the other side too, so it's like bad equities both sides. She said she could come up with 10. Okay. I will reduce the lien to $7,500, okay? Payable by when?
5/12.
By 5/12. And hopefully that helps.
Thank you so much, Your Majesty. God bless you.
All right. I will sign that order. Next.
Next is 23-001, 500 Royal Plaza Road, AMG Business Enterprises, LLC.
I bet you can't top that.
So Angel Gibson with AMG Business Enterprises. So,
Stop.
oh,
Read this in, then you get to spell your name.
I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, an order assessing fine or book page. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, an affidavit of compliance.
Okay. And what's the amount of this fine?
$15,025.
All right, and you are Angelica? Angel.
Gibson. Yes, sir.
And you are what with AMG?
I am the owner, the property owner.
Okay. All right, the easy question, why should the fine be reduced?
The structure was built. My lovely husband had a contractor build this on the side. They unfortunately could not resolve it with a permit because we purchased the property adjacent to us. It's 86 Seminole Palms. We purchased it from the Village of Royal Palm, and there were, trying to see how many planning and zoning applications we had to complete. We had just purchased the next door land from the city, and the condition was that we needed to get approved 6 planning and zoning applications that included the shed. So we couldn't do one without the other. It was intertwined with planning and zoning for all of these applications. And it took roughly 1.5 to 2 years to do that. So as we tried to apply for the permit as soon as we realized, okay, we were not supposed to build this, but we couldn't do it because it was intertwined with the other property that we had just purchased. So as soon as everything with the Village of Royal Palm went through for the other property on Seminole Palms Drive, because we had to incorporate it into our survey, we had to change the zoning. As soon as all of that was complete, we were then able to, and we did the second it was available, apply for the permit. They came out, inspected, and here I am today.
So as delicately as I can say, some of that is accurate.
Okay.
She's right that she purchased a portion of property adjacent to her site from the village that did require going through a very lengthy process of rezoning, platting, excuse me, any number of things, site plans, yeah, a whole process. But the unpermitted work that didn't match the site plan didn't have to track with that same application. So the requirement for it was 0.235 acres of land that she purchased from the village. That had to go through the process because by village code, in order for the village council to sell her that parcel, it had to be incorporated into her existing development. So there are 2 separate issues, I think, happening. Her decision was to track them together.
No,
and that's
I did
okay.
not want to track them together. I wanted to put this to bed and get this done.
I can tell you I
But we were-
drafted the purchase and sale agreement for the parcel that you bought, and there was nothing in there about
So
this
we were told
work.
that because this was a major site plan modification, that we had to lump them together. Trust me, I had my attorney, my architect. I wanted to just get this done as quickly as possible.
I have worked with all of
And you guys put a
them.
lien on the property, so like, for me as the business owner, I don't want that.
With all of these people on these things.
There was a process going separately. I mean, I'm not disputing that. I just want to make sure that we got to keep clear that there was.
Intertwined for whatever reason. I don't know. It was intertwined, where one was attached to the other. Maybe it was just bad timing for me that we got the.
Yeah, and you had some other things going on too, didn't you? You had another
Yeah, so
site plan
the-
modification, so that's part of your issue.
2024 was a big year for us. So we also purchased where it was Western Charter Academy. I'm sure you're familiar with the building in that area. So Western Charter Academy was the school on that side, and we expanded. So we purchased that from Mr. Santa Maria, and we were under construction on that side. So they advised us, the village, with the other applications to do this together. So that's what I did.
I think the issue was you could only do so many site
Yes, ma'am.
plan modifications.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes.
In so many months.
Exactly.
And you would have been over, so you had to put it together.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have
Thank
been
you.
able to do another
Yes,
site plan.
exactly.
I think,
And
is
that
what it
was exactly what it was, is I couldn't.
Village requiring you to do that, that's because you had so many other things that you had already done
You were doing
that you
so
had
much
no
stuff, and
choice
you had
but
so many
to
balls
process
up in the air that they couldn't do one more
Yes,
ball unless you put
exactly.
this ball
We
with
couldn't
that
do,
ball.
and I had already, I believe I had already
But
put.
if you didn't have all these balls in the air, you could have done
Well,
it.
these are good things that we did. These are really great things that we were able to buy the property as small business owners and expand, so.
All right, well, let's just get to numbers then,
Yes,
since
so
everyone
I
seems
wanted to see
play.
if you could do 0, if we could just waive this fine to 0.
Yeah, right.
Because,
In what world does that happen?
well, because we, as soon as we were able to be compliant.
We did not want to do these things separately. We had all these other things going on, and that's what the village's fault
Well, I was
now.
only allowed one major site plan modification, and I used that for the awnings, and then I received this immediately after.
So you used up your thing on the awnings, and now it's their fault.
No, it's just the rule.
All right, so 0's not going to happen.
Okay,
What, do you have a number?
1,000?
Okay, what's the village's number?
We are not opposing reduction, we'd be willing to reduce it to $37.54.56 payable by 5/12.
$3,754.56 by 5/12 is granted.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Do I have to come up here to pay that, or you send it to me on the check?
Don't buy a lotto ticket. I'm talking to the people behind you.
Don't do anything until you get a copy of the order, and he won't sign the order for a few days, so don't do anything. It's easier if you come here.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Nice to meet you. I don't think I've actually met you. I've met your contractors and things.
Thank you so much.
I don't know where we're going now.
Because you had to wait through this whole thing, which is why I say,
1153?
Yes, Grandview. Sorry, we were very late.
oh, you're not a fine reduction?
I don't think we have a fine yet.
No, cool. You about to.
Violation, Special Magistrate on page 2, case 25-0121, 1153 Grandview Circle, Anna and Catherine Lassard.
Special Magistrate, this is a repeat violation of Code Section 23-18B1A. I observed the violation on 2/125 and sent the notice of hearing and notice of violation certified mail on 2/5/25, and it was posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing with the affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the previous order finding violation from 2/14/22, case number 21-0829. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 are the pictures, and Exhibit 5 is the affidavit of compliance.
All right, what was the date of the prior violation?
The previous order was dated February 14th, 2022.
All right, 2022.
Your names for the record?
Lassard and Frank Call.
Last name was Frank what?
Call, C-A-L-L.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice, the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and the notice of hearing. The notice of violation.
Seen that?
The notice of hearing for tonight's hearing. These guys paper clip. There must be some code enforcement class about paper clipping. The attorney can't get the papers. That's right. Exhibit 2 is the prior order finding violation. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property.
Correct.
Exhibit 4
That's it.
are the photographs of the violation. And the final affidavit is the affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
Nope. No. Accurate.
That's the big tow truck.
It's a very big truck.
You want to go for a ride?
Big tow truck. Nah. I've got a 68 Jeep. I have a slow enough ride.
Got 18 forward and 3 reverse.
Yeah, I know. I love pulling up next to people like you so I can pass them, because by the time you hit fourth gear, I'm doing 70.
Exactly.
All right, so, yeah, can't park that there.
Yes, so hold on, so he doesn't park, he's not supposed to park it there, and he doesn't generally park it there, so.
I pay to park it somewhere else.
He
Just
parks
certain
it-
times I can't.
He parks it
get
at
in.
Titan, hold on, so he parks it at Titan Concrete, it's behind Walmart over there, he has authorization to park it there from the owner. So when he works like overnight, sometimes he doesn't get in till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and instead of going there, he just comes here, parks the truck, and then goes to work the next day. So it's not a permanent parking spot. I can tell you, it hasn't been parked there in like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks at all, not even like for an hour. So we know that it's absolutely not permitted. I know that it is permitted for an hour, I think we were told by, not, the woman that was our code enforcement officer a few years ago, like in 22, I heard Donna, I think was her name, I can't remember. So we know that it's allowed to be there for an hour tops, but I know it's not supposed to be there overnight. So it's not a permanent parking thing at all. It's just when he's late or doesn't, you know what I mean? If it's 4 o'clock in the morning, he comes to the house instead of going to park.
It's the luck of the draw. It's just, if I can't get into Titan because they lock it up, it's chained up. I can get in there when it's open, but I pay to park there. I pay them $300 to $400 a month. What I do is I do a free tow for them, and they let me park it there. But if the guy locks the gate, I'm screwed. So I come home, I live right across the street, I go to work, I'm out of there. I'm not trying to screw anybody up, I'm not trying to piss anybody off. You know what I mean? That's what I do for a living. I work 24 hours every other day. I get 48 days off a year. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm running a business out of my house.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do with this?
So it was first observed, as you see in the photograph, on February 1st, and the compliance date's March 11th. So the fine is $5,700 and not continuing.
Hold on, the fine is how much?
No, they're saying that they saw it on what February 21st, and it.
February 1st, the photo that's on the screen. And
But it
it's
hasn't been there every day, and I have GPS if you'd like GPS on the truck. I can provide documents when it's at the house, when it's not.
That would have been great.
Can you do a reschedule then? I can give you GPS? I don't have it right now. I can get it printed tomorrow.
You know, it doesn't kill me to do that.
I believe you don't you have to do like a pre-check is what you guys were talking about before the meeting? It wasn't there yesterday if you drove by, I don't know though.
That's why he complied it yesterday. Right.
All right.
Yesterday. No, I love evidence. I mean, if you have GPS data that shows you there on these dates, I'll tag you for those dates, but I won't do the full 5,700.
Okay.
Okay? I'll do something.
What day beginning? So I know how far to go back on
February
the GPS.
1st is what we're talking about?
February 1st is when I saw it there for over an hour. I haven't received any communication from the property owners, so this is my first time meeting, first time speaking with them about the repeat violation.
So you can get your proof together, and we'll come back, because it's stopped, because you've seen it and it's stopped, and we'll just come back, and you can bring your evidence, and then we can deal with it then.
Okay. That's fine. I got full GPS.
For next month then?
We'll sing that for next month. What's the date?
April 9th.
April 9th.
And you are going to agree to appear on April 9th for this? And you've requested this continuance? Yes?
Please, yes.
And is there a
Back on April 9th?
Yeah. We're here tonight.
Yeah, okay.
service for tonight's
Oh,
hearing?
definitely finding
To
service.
get a notice of hearing for the night.
You're just going to come up here.
That's fine.
Okay,
And
that's fine.
And if you can come in before the 9th and show Andrew your data.
Can we get a business card?
No.
you need to rule on it.
Oh, I know, I'm just saying, if you want to come in before the 9th and show them to him, that's fine too, so you guys can
If you
talk.
have a business card, I'll email you everything tomorrow. You'll have it tomorrow.
Okay, I just want to make sure everyone gets everything spread out, because I'll take proof. And if you're GPS located,
A tracker through his
I'm on
company.
a tracker. If I fart in there, they tell me what I had to eat for lunch. I've got cameras, I've got everything.
okay.
Special magistrate would be happy to receive that email, but it still needs to be decided on the April 9th hearing.
Yeah, no, everything's going to be cited at the hearing. I'm just
So we'll just
saying,
bring it to you on April
You
9th.
can send it around just so people can look at everything.
Okay.
And if you have questions or you have questions, it can all be dealt with before we come back in April.
Want from February 1st till the 9th, or till today, or whatever.
Yes.
Deal.
And it'd be really nice if you didn't show up at there
It won't.
before April
No,
6th.
it's outside. I was just I'm sorry, I'm filthy. I was just pulling hundreds of feet of underground wire for the town of North Palm.
Yeah, another one of my clients. Okay. Reset to April 6th? What's the
Ninth.
date? 9th. Or
5:30
9th.
again?
5:30 again?
Okay.
Yeah.
So quick, it's not on our case, but you guys said like vehicles can't be here certain sizes. You said 20 feet? All F-250s are over 20 feet long, 4-door long beds.
It's actually box trucks or cargo trucks, flatbed cargo trucks.
Okay.
Over 20 feet in length.
Okay, because we were looking it up and it wasn't being specific.
Yeah, so you could have a 250 or a 350 and pull your horse trailer or your play trailer or whatever it is. You just can't have the box truck.
Bigger and newer, you know what I mean? And the rules don't change, so like.
No, I remember I have a little town called Glen Ridge, and I had to figure out how much a frickin' Hummer weighed.
Did you know a Tesla weighs 6,500 pounds?
Yeah, I know. My 68 Jeep weighs 2,700 pounds, and a new 4-door Wrangler weighs 5,500. And I tell them that all the time. You weigh twice as much, you're fat and you're ugly. So whatever. All right, see ya. We got to go through a whole bunch more.
All right.
Yeah.
Assessment hearings, case 24-0288, 1328 Carousel Way, Genty, Lusant, and Floris Laducier.
To submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation with affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is a notice of hearing with affidavit of service. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 4 are the pictures.
Okay. You have service via posting or what?
This was out of compliance for 76 days, so we're asking for a fine of $1,900 and continuing at $25
Just asking
a day.
about the service, you posted it?
Yes, sir.
Got it, okay. 1,900 plus continuing is granted.
24-0607, 10317 Oliver Lane, Janice Marshall Roberts.
Special Magistrate, I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1.
I'll do it. You could read it, I'll do it.
Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation with affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 4 are the pictures.
Okay, and what am I looking for in these pictures? Bad spots?
Yeah, there's a bare spot in the front yard.
Spot, plywood on windows.
Miscellaneous items in the rear yard.
Gotcha, okay.
The plywood has complied, the 6190H, so that would be a continue to comply in your order. The remaining sections have been out of compliance for 76 days, so a fine of $1,900 and continuing at $25 a day.
I miss the old days of 325. All right, 1,900 plus continuing is granted.
24-1008, 1413 Thornbank Lane, James D. Goggins.
I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
I got a really dark and green card returned. Is that good enough for you guys?
You got a what?
It looked like someone stomped on a green card. They dated it, but they didn't really sign it. I'm just saying, if you consider that good service, I will give you your order. That's all. Because someone had to touch it to date it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I will accept your argument.
Confirms the mailing, so I don't know why it's not signed.
Okay,
But it
so
came back to us, so somebody,
I'll take it as service. I just pointed it out, just make sure it's all good. What would you like on this one?
this one was out of compliance for 1 day, so $25 fine.
25, no continuing?
Correct.
I spent all that time worrying about service.
Probably won't get appealed.
I'll get appealed.
24-0878, 215 Las Palmas Street, KLH Trust, Chris Kocheroff, trustee.
I'd like to enter those following documents and evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, notice of fine assessment, hearing affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
All right, you have service via posting. What's wrong with this one other than, God, what a mess?
This one's not work without a permit. This is a disabled
sorry,
vehicle,
disabled, yeah.
garbage can in public view,
All that
and
and more.
grass and weeds exceed height allowed.
Okay. You have service, what would you like?
This one was out of compliance from 12/27 to 3/12, that's 76 days, so 3,800 and continuing at $50 a day.
3,800 plus continuing is granted.
Thank you.
24-0886, 10585 Aquarius Lane, Rebert and Erna Malbranch.
Like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. This is for the yard and swell having bare areas.
Okay, well, they're obviously bare, and you have an affidavit of service, so what would you like?
This one was out of compliance for 5 days from 3/8 to 3/12, so 125 and continuing.
Plus continuing is granted.
Violation hearings, 24-1011, 10173 Pinafore Lane, Marioli Garces.
What was the next case called?
This one, yeah.
10173 Pinafore.
Special Magistrate, the code section is 9-1, fence without a permit. The violation was observed on 12/26/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/27 and returned. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the AS400 permit information.
So they applied on 1/8/25 for a permit, nothing gone through though. Huh. All right, so you have service via signed green card, what would you like?
Compliance by 5/1 or the 5/14 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
24-1014, 10033 Mikado Lane, Joy M. Ream Trust.
Special Magistrate, the code section is 6-190A15, stained structure and walkway. The violation was observed on 12/26/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent on 12/27/24 and returned on 12/30. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 are the pictures, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Finding of fact is granted.
Thank you. 24-1018, 178 Royal Pine Circle South, IH3 Property, Florida LP.
The code section, Special Magistrate is 6-190A5, stained sidewalk. The violation was observed on 12/27. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/27/24 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents and evidence. Exhibit 1 is a notice of violation and notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is a verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance.
Service via posting, finding of fact is granted.
24-1023, 102 Princess Court, IH5 Property, Florida LP.
Code section 6-190A135, a stained drip edge, stained sidewalk, stained driveway, and a stained driveway apron. The violation was observed on 12/30/24. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/31/24, and the green card was returned on 1/6. I'd like to submit the following documents and evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
It's amazing how white the cracks are amongst the gray of the world there. I don't know why. That's just weird. Maybe the ants are cleaning it. What would you like?
The 06190A5, which is a sidewalk, is a finding of fact.
Driveway or just a sidewalk?
Sidewalk.
Okay.
The remaining violations, we're asking for compliance by 3/27 or 4/9 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
3/27, 4/9/25 granted.
And a finding of fact on the sidewalk.
And a finding of fact on 690A1, A5.
A5, yep.
Gotcha.
Thank you. 24-1025, 135 Queens Lane, Todd DeSutter and Jessica Zipfel.
Code Section 6-190A135, stained driveway apron, stained sidewalk, and stained fascia boards. The violation was observed on 12/30/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/31 and returned on 1/2/25. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures. And Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Service via signed green card, finding of fact is granted.
Thank you. 24-1026, 140 Saratoga Boulevard West, Carol A. McGregor.
Code Section 6-190H, closed storm shutters. The violation was observed on 12/30/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/31 and returned on 1/7. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
It's a rash of dated and unsigned, but they work. All right, finding fact granted.
24-1029, 10145 Pinafore Lane, Carl H. Nazaire.
Code Section 6-190H, closed storm shutters. Violation was observed on 12/30/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent on 12/31/24 and returned on 1/10/25. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Signed green card for service, finding of fact is granted. Hurricane season starting soon.
24-1034, 11999 Southern Boulevard, JHB1 Property Management, LLLP.
Code Section 15-141 and 6-195 for a dead tree. Observed the violation on 12/31/24. Notice of violation was sent certified mail along with a notice of hearing on 1/2/25 and returned. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures. Exhibit 4 is the AS400 permit information. And Exhibit 5 is the affidavit of compliance.
I should just flip to your last page. Finding of fact is granted. Signed green card is service.
24-1040, 271 Ponce de Leon Street, Andrew A. Napier Trust, Hazel E. Napier Family Trust.
Code Section 6-190H for closed storm shutters. The violation was observed on 12/31/24. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 1/2/25 and returned on 1/6. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
All right, someone in New York signed for these, and their tenants obviously not listening to them. What would you like?
Compliance by 327 or appearance at the 4/9 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
25-0001, 248 Ponce de Leon Street, Robert Calero Jr. and Vickiana M. Rosario.
Code Section 6-190H and 26-57. Closed storm shutters, place structure without a permit. The violation was observed on 12/31/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on the 2nd of January and returned on January 7th. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Signed green card equals service. Finding of fact is granted.
25-0029, 254 Ponce de Leon Street, Progress Residential Borrower 1 LLC.
Code Section 14-4A and 15-141, dead palm fronds and a disabled vehicle. The violation was observed on 1/9/25. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 1/10/25 and returned on 1/15. I'd like to submit the following documents and evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
My favorite mail guy was having a bad day because he stamped it upside down. Willie's my boy. Willie Grant, I love his stamp. All right, We are doing what with this one?
Finding of fact.
Granted.
25-0006, 942 Camellia Drive, Alyssa A. Cruz and David R. Kroll.
Code section would be 15132 for bare spots in the swale. I observed a violation on 1/2/25. The mail was mailed out on 1/3/25 and returned back on 1/6/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation, notice of hearing, and USPS tracking. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos, and Exhibit 4, an affidavit of compliance.
You got a finding of fact. I was just trying to CSI where this track was going. You see that one through the dirt that goes into the driveway? It's like, that's got to be a really weird parking turn. Finding of fact is okay.
Thank you. 25-0011-1031 Rhapsody Way, Jose R. and Tanya F. Redondo.
Section 622 and 108.4 for work without permits. I observed the violation on 1/3/25. The mail was mailed out on 1/3/25 and returned back on 1/15/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and USPS tracking. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. Exhibit 4, AS400 permit info. And Exhibit 5, an affidavit of compliance.
So you had them out of order. I would have thought as much. I had to go back past the AS400 to get your affidavit of compliance. Finding of fact is granted.
Thank you. 25-0012 is being pulled. 25-0066 is being pulled. 25-0091 is being pulled. 25-0093 is being pulled.
You're doing great.
25-0024 is being pulled.
Good.
0032, 129 Dove Circle, Patricia A. Hastings Lucas, and Robert E. Lucas.
Margaret's making us late.
622, 108.4, work without a permit. I observed this violation on 1/13/25, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 1/13/25, and I got a phone call from the homeowner. You got the message there that he received the notice and had a BLD number. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, AS400 permit information. Exhibit 5, affidavit compliance, and 4 was affidavit compliance, and Exhibit 5 is the picture.
Okay, granted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You had a service via actual.
25-0035, 111 Malaga Street, Jose and Jessica De Leon.
Code section 0619835, 144A. Sidewalk and bottom portion of the driveway are stained, disabled vehicle. I observed this violation on 1/13/25, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 1/14/25, signed on 1/16/25. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit compliance.
I was saying, someone stole the bed on that truck. They fixed it. Finding of fact is granted, service via fine green card.
Thank you.
25-0055, 10671 Bobby Lane, SRP SUB LLC.
Code sections 15-142, 2318B3. Lawn has bare areas, parking on lawn. I observed this violation on 1/22/25. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing. On 1/22/25, I got the green card returned, not signed or dated on 1/29/25. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Signed green card equals service. Finding of fact is granted. They only use white cars at this house.
25-0111, 155 South State Road 7, 101, 309, 315 11th Street LLC.
Code section 2349A6. 615 and 14.2. Stop signs are missing and clothing box on property. I observed this violation on 2/3/25, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 2/4/25. It was signed on 2/8/25. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
All right, signed green card equals service.
The A6 is the clothing box along with the 14.2.
Okay, and that's a finding of fact.
Correct, and they still have
Okay,
to
the
do
clothing
this.
box was done.
Yeah, it's 2349A6 and 14.2.
I'm just going to circle that. That's a finding of fact.
That's a finding of
on the
fact, and for-
Clothing box and the stop signs are still missing.
2349A, no, B15, we're asking for compliance by 327 or the 4/9 hearing or $50 a day fine.
We're missing 2 stop signs, one in this location and one in that location.
Day.
327, 4/9.
What?
327, 4/9?
74950.
And
that
then
it for our
we need to
program?
pull for the record 23-0762
Okay.
on the fine
pull.
mitigations.
Do we have anything else? Minutes, anything else I need to deal with? No. In that case, let me hand these documents to Ms. Handcode,
We'll save Ms. Walker a walk.
but she's named for it. Get her steps in to justify her existence.
As an adjourning,
8:23.
Thank you.
who wants this password?
I had someone say, why do you write down the time the meeting's over? I looked at it, it's like,